Okay, well, I guess I'm live, huh? Let's see what microphone I'm using. Okay. Which one am I using? Okay, that's the one I'm using. So anyhow, here we are, another Saturday night. Okay, let me get... So anyhow, we're going to talk a little bit about tonight, about the phony baloney, well, stage show of George Floyd. That's right. And the protests that are going on around the country, and the distribution center that burned down last night up in Los Angeles area. Man, that was a huge fire. That's called burning down the infrastructure, part of Agenda 21. Yeah, it just amazes me how they're bringing NWO in right in everybody's face. And so many people are asleep. So where's the footage from the police cam? I haven't seen it yet. It's been a week and I don't see any police video. I don't see any body cams. No, I don't. I don't see any cruiser footage. Nope. Well, why wouldn't I see any of that stuff? Well, because it never happened. That would be why. And the first time in all of history, I mean the very first time in all of history, that we've had a worldwide pandemic, and just within a few weeks of supposedly, so let's see, let's just go the last 3 months. We've had a worldwide pandemic, and now we have a worldwide protest over an actor pretending to be a cop, killing a black man, another actor, and giving you a whole fiction story of they knew each other and they worked at this club and they this and they that and they did this and they did that, and then giving you 3 phony arrests that never took place. And you actually think that worldwide other people would care if a cop killed a black guy in America when people are being killed all over the world every year and many cops are corrupt, killing many people? How would that make any sense to you? See, it wouldn't. This is just getting absolutely retarded. Oh no, we can't do this. Okay, I gotta get off of here for now. I cannot be dealing with that. No. I got people over there trying to come at me and start talking to me. I've had a lot of drama going on. Unasked for drama. Matter of fact, I'll probably touch on that topic a little bit on this show tonight. Since don't want to stop, since people are little children in their brains. It's pretty pathetic, man, the shit that's been going down in the last couple of days for me. And it's going non-stop right now. I just left fucking there. I'm not going there. This is getting retarded. Okay? It's just getting complete insanity is what it is. Well, I got a show to carry on, and I'm not going to keep that crap, but I will talk a little bit about some of it up here tonight, just because they want to keep it going, so I want to see what kind of a psychotic world we live in, and how people are so willing to bend over a guy, bending over and attacking another guy, without even knowing that guy, just because he's busy chasing pussy. Makes me sick. The mentality of sick people while NWO's coming in and So many people are getting fixed to be killed off, and they're so fucking obliviously stupid that they have time to come up here and make all of these foul statements. Yep. And do all of this crazy crap. Just unreal. Unbelievable. It really is. It's unbelievable. But that's what goes on, isn't it? Yeah. That's what goes on. So, but you know, the main topic that I wanted to start off with. Oh, yeah, I agree, Jana. That's exactly what they are. And this has been going on since yesterday night and it's still going on even now. And it just escalated. But anyhow, it just shows the retardedness. You know, that Amazon distribution center that went up in flames last night. Well, there's some more of your infrastructure. That's what this is about. See, Agenda 21 calls for this. You wonder why the beaches ain't open around the United States? Because they'll never, ever be open again. That's part of Agenda 21. I'm sorry, but that's forbidden land. Humans ain't allowed to be on it. That's what that is. Okay, so you know, it's just insane. The stuff that's going on in our world. Then we have to deal with this kind of crap on the side. These people are so blindlessly oblivious to what's going on, and they're getting their rocks off and starting trouble for other people. You know, it's just absolutely ridiculous. Well, you know, when I see shit going on like what just happened just short of me coming on this show, then yeah, that makes me, well, let's do this again. That makes no sense. He was in a meeting earlier. Just bear with me a moment. I'm trying to bring somebody in here. Now, I don't know why it's not showing up. I keep waiting for them to come in. And I'll call it again. Invite to meeting. Okay. Is it coming through? Yes, finally. Finally. It took 3 times to get this to come through. Sometimes I think they're just software glitches.
Hello?
Why, hello.
Let me turn off the internet connection. Hold on. Hello? How you doing, Bill?
Good. And how are you, Steve?
Doing good. Doing really good. Just see how things are going. So, I in my town, I did. There was a protest today, but it was pretty low key. So I'm thanking the Lord that everything went smoothly, and it did not go past 7. I think I got misunderstood with the girl I talked to. I think they did a second part, and I didn't stay for it, but I stayed for the first part. So I was there about an hour and a half.
Well, that's cool. So you got some good footage too, didn't you, huh?
Yeah, I did, and you know what? I'm glad it worked out. It didn't look like the police had it under control pretty well, and it was low key, and I'm glad it was because Bill, like I said, the biggest thing I fear is that if this spreads to the outlying cities, like the suburbs, this could get really hairy because a lot of your local law enforcement don't have the police force to handle a big mob. You know what I'm saying?
No, they don't. And then we got National Guard all over the place as well. So,
Yeah, it does. It does. Like I said, I'm not. I was always praying for the best because Bill, I would not want to. be in a situation where I had to run like hell, and then it's just too much. I would recommend that anybody that has a chance to go to a protest, unless it's really on a low level, to stay away from the big cities. Without a doubt, there's too much danger that can happen in these big cities.
Oh, for sure, without a doubt. Well, if you want to share your footage, you can anytime you want. I've already fixed that for you.
Yeah, I'm looking at my screen right now. Let me see where I'd go into. Hold on a second here. Give me just 1 second here, Bill.
Oh, that's no problem. Just take your time, you know.
I queued it up. Hold on, I'm trying to get in to see. Oh, there it is. I'm looking at the. Okay, let me go into screen share real quick. This is what I want. Okay, I've got the screen share set up. It should go through now. Okay, let me know if you can see it.
Okay, I'm seeing it over here on my side. I
Okay,
gotta
well then I'll
exit
start
the.
it then.
Well, I gotta exit the full screen. I gotta see it on the live stream itself, so I know that it's up there. Cause it looks
Yeah.
like it's wanting to be stubborn. Okay, okay. That's on Zoom.
You see it? It's paused right now.
I don't know what's going on here. Hold on a moment. Because it's like my OBS studio's messing with me. Okay, have I got two windows up here? No. How come you're not showing?
I'll play it.
Yeah, they're not going to see it.
Okay, you don't see it yet?
No, you got plenty of sound there, but I'm not getting the picture yet, and I should
Well,
be.
it says you are screen sharing. It says that you are screen sharing on my end.
Yes, I am, and it should be showing up here through my OBS studio so they see it over here. But it's not for whatever reason. So let me do something here, Steve, real quick, okay?
Okay.
Just hold in there a moment. I'm going to try something here, and hopefully I won't. Okay, let me go back here.
I want to know if it's playing. You're not. I don't know if you're actually in the video itself. You're reading the comments. I don't know if they can see it. Maybe they can see it and you don't.
I don't know. This is crazy because you should have been here. Okay?
Okay.
If people just bear with me a moment. Okay? I'm going to do something else. Because they're not going to see it on your end because it's playing on Zoom. But it's not integrating for whatever reason. So it's going to make me restart the OBS studio. So I'm going to stream again. I had to stop the stream momentarily. Okay? Because I had to get this thing synced.
All right. Do you see it now?
There it is. Now you're here. Now you're here.
All right. Here I go.
This thing was just being ridiculous. Okay, it'll take a second to show up. There it is. There you are. You're live.
See the screen clear?
Yes.
Okay, but I'll let the video take it from here.
imagine how tired they are. It's solving their job. And if y'all got a little bit of rhythm, we can really get something going. You're gonna feel tired. You're gonna feel tired. But imagine how tired they are of systematic oppression. Yeah. Of the police brutality they face every day. Yep. And this is a no offense to our local policemen who are taking the time right now to stand outside and protect everybody in the community. We appreciate it. That's right. But what are you doing to hold your partners accountable? Yeah. What are you doing to hold the people in your neighborhood accountable for their silence? Speak up. Because your silence is oppression. Your silence shows your privilege. Take a look around at your neighbors right now. I want y'all to take 1 minute. Just take a good look around. Where is the diversity in our community? And why isn't it here? Why do we criticize poverty? With the lack of funding in our education systems, maybe not in Olmsted Falls, maybe you don't feel it here, but you can't make your experience the national or international experience. So that's all I got to say. If anybody here wants to say a word, step up, it's cool. But I'm glad to stand in solidarity with all y'all. And that's what's up. No justice, no peace! 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 No peace! No justice, no peace! No justice, no peace! No justice, no peace! No justice, no peace! No peace! No justice, no peace! 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 No peace!
I appreciate all of you coming out today, and I hope you keep this energy every day, because I know not one black person in this community has graduated from here because they left because of racism. Woo! For no reason. We do not need to allow our peers to call them slurs, anything. I was suppressed in the school system, not allowed to embrace my culture, because if I did, I would have been bullied, so I didn't do that. I could not do that until I left this school system, until I went to college and found a community that I could embrace myself. So keep this energy, don't leave it here today. This isn't a weekend event, this is an all-life event. Woo!
Okay, that's part one. How does that look so far, Bill? Okay.
Oh, it's nice and clear.
That's good. It's a little bit bitmappy, but it came out good. So there was, it gets a little more. That was, I cut that clip there, but I'll go into the next clip in a second. So maybe you can throw your commentary about the no justice, no peace. I just, like I said, I think that we have to look at all lives matter, because police brutality has hit everybody, Bill.
Oh, well, yeah, you got a black man that come up and made a video a couple of days ago, and I applauded him. He has a lot of subscribers, but this guy told truth when he got to the point, and he showed a police clip from 2016 of white cops holding a white guy to the ground, and in the end the cops killed the guy, okay, in a very similar fashion, and they put the guy in the ambulance, and the paramedics are there, and paramedics was, no, he's dead, and this guy died. And this black man's saying, so where's worldwide protesting for this guy's life?
Right.
How come we're yelling Black Lives Matter? He said it himself, being a black man. He says, why doesn't all lives matter? Which was a very correct statement, okay? But you know, the thing is, Steve, worldwide, we've never had a worldwide pandemic in the history of mankind. And we've also never had a worldwide protest over a cop killing one man when it happens all the time. Right. And worldwide, no, that's part of NWO. This is deliberately being done. This is all a show. That's what this is.
Okay, I'm going to queue up the next clip here, Bill. Let me first get into my screen here. And I'm going to go screen share. Hold on 1 second. I'm going to make sure I get the right... This is the second clip. This is where it broke. I just took about a 10-second break in the clip. And let me hit the share button. And do you see it now?
I'll let you know once it comes up.
Yeah, it should be showing you now.
Okay, come on. Do your thing. Oh,
hope you don't have a
there we go. There we go. It's going. It's there.
Black Lives Matter! 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 Say it with your chest! Black Lives Matter! 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 Black Lives Matter!
So my family and I have been members of this community for the last 4 years. Social injustice is not just a black issue, it's an everybody issue. And this is the first step to taking this community that was just voted the safest community in Ohio to being the safest community for everybody in Ohio. Black, brown, white, and otherwise. So I appreciate all of you showing up today. God bless you.
God bless you.
Don't shoot!
Don't shoot! Hands up! 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 Don't shoot!
Hey, Bill, are you there?
Yep, I'm right here.
You know, Bill, it almost seems like it's a very occult, like a cult thing. Like they're saying Black Lives Matter for like 10 minutes. Hands up, don't shoot. Hands up, don't shoot. It's almost like they're repeating it, like they're trying to drive it into your head. It's very intense. I almost like. Do you know what I'm saying?
It is. It is actually. Since this protest was organized by most likely people like George Soros, that's why it's worldwide, they were probably given lines to say. And of course, everybody's parroting the same thing.
Right. It's not. It's just like I would think that there would be more speakers. I think speaking is more intelligent than just doing the same mantra 500 times. Let me continue with this.
Yeah.
Hands up! Don't shoot! 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 Hands up! Don't shoot!
1 second. I want you to
Don't shoot! Don't shoot! Don't shoot! Hands up! Don't shoot! Hands up! Don't shoot! Hands up! Don't shoot! Hands up! Don't shoot!
You see that sign that says pro-black, pro-white, pro-brown, pro-police? That I like. I can tell that these people in the picture here were obviously not as radical. They were very inclusive. Do you see that sign there?
Yes.
And then mercy triumphs judgment. I like that. Pro-black, pro-white, pro-brown, pro-police. It's saying that you like all people. And I'm surprised nobody gave them a hard time about this sign, but I think that's a beautiful sign right there, that it's very inclusive.
Yeah, because all life should matter.
Yeah.
Don't shoot!
Free to assemble. Love one another. There's a nice sign. And just be nice.
Don't shoot! 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 Don't shoot!
Something I want to also point out, Bill, is that the older people there were kind of just there. They weren't doing the same thing. So you can tell how involved this is with the younger people. I don't see like people in their 60s and 70s going apeshit over this. It's mostly younger people, and this is the perfect time to indoctrinate people.
It is. It is. This is all deception. This is brainwashing. It's basically, it is just that, Steve.
Yeah, I think the older people just went to be there, but they are maybe with some relatives. But I'll continue here.
Don't shoot! Hands up! 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 Don't shoot! Hands up!
Bill, it's very surprising. This was probably 95% white audience, and I think it would have been harder to. I think that it would have been harder to bring Antifa in there had they had 95% white. I think Antifa works better when you have these George Soros goons in there that can go into a big city. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think that it's a lot of. Hold on, let me finish it.
Don't shoot! Hands up! 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 Don't shoot! All right, y'all. I hope y'all ain't tired yet. Everybody doing all right? Everybody doing okay? I want you to take extra water bottles if anybody would like some. They're unopened. It's important to remember that when one person gets tired of chanting, it is all our responsibility.
That's what's up.
Step up and our turn to chant and our turn to be mad. And never let the full place of resting in the chant stay silent forever. You have to continue like day on, day out.
That's what's up. So, yo, I want y'all to take like a 2-minute break, pop a squat. We got a few more things coming. We have some conversations coming. We're building some leaders. I see our little ones out here today.
What a horrible thing to do to a young child, to subject him to that, you know?
Yeah. Oh.
Let's take a break. Pop a squat. Talk to your neighbors if you don't know them.
You had to get over to the shade, Bill. It was so hot there.
That was the little COVID-19 thing. I know. Everybody else.
I got one question for y'all. Will you come and introduce yourselves?
They did.
Will you come say hey
Bill,
to your
this is the
community
easy part.
members?
This is when they try to get the police over there and they want to compliment the police. And the police, I'll tell you, they were very professional. They just stood there when they tell them, hey, we'd like the police to introduce yourselves. The police were not like kneeling on one knee. They were actually just staying at a distance. And I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, that actually is better off. I mean, you know, in my town, the only thing the police did was design the route for them, made them stay on the sidewalks, wouldn't let them in the street, and then they had a cop escort them on the route and a cop in back of them.
Yeah. Okay, here we go.
Y'all coming? We want to talk to you. Come say hi. Liam. You're here for our
Trying to get
community.
the cops to come over and like get buddy with them, but the cops want no part of it. At least that's my opinion.
Yeah.
So come say hi.
got a job to do. They got to keep everything.
Wherever you want to send it. I don't want to make you walk over
Ooh, I smell something like that. Asphalt.
I mean, maybe a wash.
Ooh, is it hot? It's a nice strip. Sorry about that. Ooh. Tree's nice.
No, I mean, like, you did that with Facebook. So I saw it, and I'm like, oh my gosh.
That's the second to last video. So what's your opinion so far? Hold on, let me get out of the screen share here. Hold on a second.
You got a lot of people hanging out right there.
Yeah,
sure.
I mean, it was a pretty big showing. I was surprised, Bill. It turned out quite a bit. I don't know what people are saying in the comments. I'm not actually looking at the screen, but I guess I can see that later. But what you want to throw your 2 cents in?
Well, you know, what I do see is a lot of programming, because this is what this is going to do. And I don't see this going to solve a thing, because there's no solving what's going on unless people stand together, you know. I mean, there's some good points coming out of it, but where's it going to get us in the end?
Yeah, very good point there.
You know, that's the really one thing I look at all of this is, what is this going to accomplish other than more division and stabilization? Because we're watching mainstream media race baiting every day now.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, so this is going to cause more division in the long run, but I'm all for people standing together of all races, so that's the only good thing I see that is happening, and I don't know that the elite are typically like that, but that's what's going on. But I don't think it's going to stop the elite. I don't think, no.
Well, this was a low key. I'm glad it didn't bring in Antifa, because that would have been a nightmare. First of all, Bill, I wouldn't have been hanging out there very long if Antifa gets involved. Antifa is a little bit easier to do in a big city because they can squeeze between buildings and shit, you know?
Yeah. Well, I'm glad that you didn't have that, and I'm glad they cut it off, because that way you don't got the violence and the looting after dark.
Right.
Because that's the real thing that was really, you know, but when you really look at the whole thing, you see that this is NWO related. It was planned this way.
Yeah, I think, Bill, this is a self-sustaining thing. I don't think that the NWO planned this particular one. I think it's, once you get enough of these going, it kind of takes care of itself, you know?
Yeah, well, that's it. The NWO planned this and set this up, but once they got it really going, then it's branching off everywhere naturally.
Yeah. Well, let me share some more. Hold on, let me get back into the screen here, and we'll do the rest of this. There's a funny clip in here. I'm going to play it multiple times. Some guy yells at a city out there. It's where, hold on, let me go on here. Hold on. All right, do you see that screen?
Now, it'll take a minute to show up in the live feed, so just hold
Okay.
off, and I'll tell you when I see it in the live feed. Okay, it's loading now.
Out here already.
There it is. It's up on the live feed now.
Does a little something. Change don't come now. It sure will be one.
No, I have one that's just a little bit.
That wasn't my hands, Bill. That's why it was coming. This was almost shaking. I was turning 2 cameras at once.
Oh, yeah. We're gonna go out and then like the bar goes down. We're gonna move her in like that.
Ooh, is it hot?
I was gonna go to the
Yeah.
No justice, no peace, no smile. Black lives matter. Is there really only one teacher here? Or am I? This is Wendell was the only teacher here. But it goes to say, like, what are we doing with the education?
And this is another one of these things, Bill. They're just going to keep doing these Black Lives Matter, I can't breathe. I hope you can bear this.
Oh, yeah. I can't breathe. I can't breathe. Oh, speaking about... I can't breathe. 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 I
I can't breathe. 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 I can't breathe.
What I see, Bill, is that the protests are so senseless that all they can do is just do these one-liners. They can keep preaching these just I can't breathe, I can't breathe. I mean, if you're going to have a protest, you want to have very in-depth discussions. I mean, if you were doing an anti-NWO rally, you could easily go into so many different areas. But with these Black Lives Matter type of deals, there's really not much they say, you know?
No, there isn't. They just keep parroting the same words over and over.
Right. It's like I can barely breathe just listening to them say this. I'm almost losing my breath listening to this, you know?
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
I can't breathe. 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 I can't breathe.
If this was a pro-life or pro-white rally, how much violence would be going on the other end?
Oh, there'd be a
If
lot
you
of
were
violence.
like if you were just promoting pro-life, you'd have the anti-abortion people just throwing rocks and bottles. I mean, it shows you how intimidated people really are. It's like this whole issue is just so one-sided.
It is. You know, and they're going to sit there and keep parroting these words, and they don't even realize what they're actually doing. Because it's not going to get us nowhere.
Right. I mean, it's division big time, but it's division across. I mean, you gotta bring people together. I mean, I think that I just pray that these protests calm down. I don't know if they will. I think they're going to get worse over time.
What do we want? Change! When do we want it? Now! What do we want? Change! When do we want it? Now! What do we want? Change! When do we want it? Now! What do we want? Change! When do we want it? Now! What do we want? Change! When do we want it? Now! What do we want? Change! When do we want it? Now! What do we want? Change! When do we want it? Now! What do we want? Change! When do we want it? Now! What do we want? Change! When do we want it? Now! What do we want? Change! When do we want it? Now! What do we want? Change! When do we want it? Now! What do we want? Change! When do we want it? Now! What do we want? Change! When do we want it? Now! What do we want? Change! When do we want it? Now! What do we want? Change! When do we want it? Now! What do we want? Change! When do we want it? Now! What do we want? Change! When do we want it? Now! What do we want? Change! When do we want it? Now! What do we want? Change! When do we want it? Now! What do we want? Change! When do we want it? Now! What do we want? Change! When do we want it? Now! What do we want? Change! When do we want it? Now! What do we want? Change! When do we want it? Now! What do we want? Change! When do we want it? Now! What do we want? Change! When do we want it? Now! What do we want? Change! When do we want it? Now! What do we want? Change! When do we want it? Now! What do we want? Change! When do we want?
That's that one. Your comments.
Yeah, so how long was your protest?
Well, this one was about an hour and a half, and I guess they resumed it after I left. I thought they were going to restart it at 7. Hold on, let me back out of here, stop the share here. Boom. So they were going to restart it at 7 or something. I might have gotten misquoted the girl when I was talking to her. She said something about 7 o'clock, and I wasn't sure whether she said they were going to resume it, but I'm sure it wasn't much different. But anyways, your comments.
Well, you know, I'm looking at the whole picture and I'm seeing the same thing being pranced where you're at that I've seen in every protest around the United States that I've been looking at. It's just this parroting the same words. That's why I know the words have actually been given to them and they're just following directions. It's like the perfect order followers. That's really what it comes down to. Now, tonight's show I know is going to probably be in at least 2 parts. Because we have another glitch that happened in the middle of your last video. And I closed out the OBS and brought it back up to clean out the glitch. So I don't know what's going on with it for sure.
Oh, what? Did you say that the video didn't pop through?
Oh no, right in the middle of playing it went black on the live stream.
No. That had nothing to do with. That was when I set the camera down on the grass.
Oh, is that what that was?
Yeah, because I was I had 2 cameras in my hand. I was trying to live stream this to Zoom on one camera with my cell camera, and then this other one.
Yeah,
That's
okay.
why-
Well,
that's
it
why it
blacked
went-
out, and I kept looking. What the hell?
Yeah, no, it wasn't your end.
So I actually, so in the middle of what you were playing, I shut down the OBS studio and restarted and went right back live again. It probably only took a minute. But it will cause the show to be broke up into 2 parts.
Oh, it did?
Yes.
Oh, but we're still streaming though,
Oh
right?
yeah, we're streaming. We maybe only not this video you just played, but the one before. We may have lost maybe 1 minute, and that would be the most.
Okay, sorry to hear that. Okay, let me play this part. This is funny. Let me hold on a second. This is coming up here. I think it's about right here. Yeah, well, because you thought it got messed up. Is that why that happened?
Oh yeah, because I had all the black and I couldn't get around it, and it was the OBS studio.
Yeah, that was me setting the camera down on the grass. That's why that did that.
And so I was like, okay, so fine, you glitched out again.
Okay. Hold on. I'm not sharing yet, am I?
No, not yet.
Okay, hold on a second. Try to get back into my Zoom. Okay, hold on a second here. Okay, share. Hold on, let me get in the screen share. All right, tell me if you see the screen.
I see it loading. I'll let you know once it comes up on YouTube, okay?
All right.
Okay, it's coming up. It's there now.
Okay. Ready?
Yep.
Go home, you asshole!
Play it again.
Go home, you asshole!
Did you hear that?
Yep, go home, you assholes.
Go home, you asshole! Go home, you asshole!
Right.
Okay, I think that's pretty much it, Bill. Something interesting, Bill. The girl that I talked to said to me, I misunderstood her because she said that these things usually get pretty nasty after like a certain time. And I wasn't sure if they were looking for any trouble, but apparently they ended this thing at 7. I thought they were going to resume it at 7. That was the confusion.
Ah, okay. So this actually went on to 7 p.m. your time.
I think it did, and I think what happened was I left and everything was quiet. It was about close to 5:30 by the time I left, and it was real hot. I had to get home. I couldn't stand. I didn't even put any sunscreen on, even though I had a long sleeve shirt on. It was just pretty weird. So, but anyways.
Yeah, you were cooking. You were cooking then.
Yeah, hold on a second. Let me get in here real quick here.
Rate of mine. Probably.
I misunderstood this girl. She meant 7 in school, so.
I'll be right back. Hi.
Are you guys going through the night or what?
We're gonna go till 7 p.m.
Okay.
We feel that agitation comes at night.
Okay, is that what you guys are looking for? Or?
We're not looking for agitation.
Oh, okay.
We want peace.
Okay.
We're a community of majority white citizens.
Okay.
We have a 1% rate of minorities in our school systems. And by the time they're in high school, it's even smaller.
So you think that there's going to be more people deep in negative things at 7 o'clock?
That's when people
and like
come
I've heard
out,
like
they can
looters
hide.
come out like when they hear that there's a lot of protests going on like to the suburbs.
That's when the wrong people show up.
Okay, that's when they're wrong, and that's what you want almost, isn't it?
We don't want the wrong people.
Okay, you don't want them, okay. Okay, good.
We want people who are here to amplify.
We don't want to add fuel to the fire that like this is a violent event or that like
I'm glad it's gone good so far. Nobody's been fighting or anything.
No, we're here to amplify black voices. We're majority white.
Yeah.
The POC, other minorities here are also, again, minorities.
Are you from Olmsted Falls?
I'm from Olmsted Falls.
Okay.
Graduated 2017.
Okay. You're in college, right?
I'm in college now.
All right.
Love it very much.
Good. Well, it's going to be hard to go to college with the COVID thing, right?
It is going to be hard to go to college with COVID. But you know what?
Right.
We're going to try and figure it out.
Okay.
We're gonna try and keep this safe as we can.
Well, I'll be back at 7. Good guys.
I'd love to see y'all.
Thank you.
Yeah, Bill, I think the misunderstanding is to come back at 7. I'm glad that everything went good there, Bill. I really am. I'm just and like I said, it was a peaceful rally, but this could have gotten worse if this would have been a nighttime event.
Oh, it could have gotten a whole lot worse if it had been a nighttime event. Yeah. I think what quashed some of that was they had plans for certain people to begin with and brought in people that I think a lot of these burnings and this looting was instigated by CIA and law enforcement.
Yeah. Bill, something interesting I said to you today during intermission. I thought I was going back to the protest only to find out nobody was there. I misunderstood the girl. I thought that she meant that we're going to resume this at 7. I was so hot, my brain wasn't even thinking straight. But she apparently said we're going to go till 7. So they were out. When I got there at around 7:05, it was completely cleared out. I mean, there wasn't anybody there. So I thought maybe they went to the Village Green, maybe they went somewhere else. But they might have even cleared out of there earlier than that, because there was not one person out there at 7. It was like a ghost town by that police station there. So it must have ended earlier than 7 even. That might have been 6:30 or 6 o'clock, you know.
So that was right by a police station then?
Yeah, it was right at the police station, the downtown city hall, yes. And that was good because then the police were all there. And I take the woman's word for it that no, when I said to you, you guys aren't looking to see trouble, and they said no, I'm going to give her the benefit of the doubt that nobody wants trouble. But if Antifa had shown up, God forbid, in a nighttime situation, that would have been bad.
Yeah, well, that would, because then you're going to wind up with more crap happening again. And
right.
So it's best off, you know, that's the reason I wouldn't go. I've never been to a protest in my life, but the one that happened here, I never really cared to go to any protest. And with all the crazy stuff that's been going down in our world, with them bringing in NWO, how do you feel about the protest yourself and what's going on? What do you think about George Floyd? Do you think he's an actor?
Bill, I'm going to say I am 50-50. I think there's a 50% chance that George Floyd is still alive. He's an actor. Yes, I think it's 50%. I think the other chance is that because it seems like they were so geared at getting the riots to start so soon, and it's hard to say, Bill. I would venture to say that is a very high probability it could be fake.
Yeah. Now, my own opinion is I think this has all been planned. It was staged because it went worldwide. And then you watch the Target store with your alarm going off. No police ever showed up. You look at the police station that was handed over to the protesters. That's not normal at all. Okay? And then you look at the fact that there's absolutely no body cam or police footage.
Right, absolutely.
Okay, and with having all of them together, it makes me say, PSYOP. It never happened. It was planned this way.
Oh, there's George Floyd protest right on the very front page of my YouTube. They're going on every single day.
Yeah, and they're going on all over the place, including other countries, every day.
Yeah.
I think it's to cause as much division as they can cause.
Right.
Which helps destabilize the countries from what they've just gone through, just before we have a second round and they lock us down again. And that part right there bothers me, because if they go to lock us down again, I think you're going to have riots all over the place.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'm just looking at the chat here. A lot of black activists say think race. Okay. This was mostly white. Bill, I don't want to say, it's going to sound prejudicial to say this, but when you have a mostly white protest for a black cause, you're probably not going to have violence. But if you had 50-50, it probably would have gotten violent, and then you'd have thrown in the white guys in the Antifa outfits. That would have just stirred really things up.
Yeah, well, this could have been a whole lot worse, but I've been looking at what's really going on around us, and this is all related to Agenda 21 and NWO. That's why I was telling people early at the beginning of the show here that the beaches are closed around the United States everywhere. And they're putting up chain link fence to stop people from going on the beaches. And they're fining people big time if they try to go on a beach. Well, all of that stuff is because that's part of Agenda 21. That's really what that is. That's part of Agenda 21.
One person listed it. They said one sane person in an hour and a half of footage. Some of the highest IQ people that I know. Okay, some people are arguing in this thing. I'm sorry to put the people through that whole thing, but I wanted them to see the full spectrum of what goes on in one, you know?
Yeah. Well, I don't blame you there because, and you know,
if I could have made the footage more exciting, I had two cameras in my hand. I was trying to live stream to my Zoom while I was filming it on the other camera, so it was a pain in the butt doing two. What I probably will do if there's another protest, I'll get just a tripod and just try to do everything from a tripod. It don't matter though. It's all makes sense. It's all there.
Yeah, well, that's what counts. As you see, we have company here. Well, hello,
Do we
Jana.
really? Jana's in the chat, or?
Jana's in the chat, yes. But she's got her mic muted, so you won't hear her. Oh,
Okay.
she unmuted it.
There we go. There we go. Hold on a minute. I got to mute. Can you hear me okay without an echo?
Oh, yeah, you're just fine.
Okay.
I can see Jana's
I have
picture
my
up
mic
there.
muted. Okay.
Yeah.
What do we want? Change. When do we want it? Now. What do we want? Change. What do we want it? Now. How much more could you take, Jane, of that?
Okay, Jana, you having issues there?
Now, is that better?
Oh, yeah, well, we hear you. Steve asked you a question. He says, we want change. We want change now. Okay? So, what do you think of that?
Change, yeah, we need lots of change right now. Right the F now. You know, that George, I heard you ask Steve if he felt George was an actor, and he's like 50-50 on the fence there.
Yeah. I don't want to be 100% on it. I want to say I think there's a high probability that this was all a big stage show. And
Right.
how they go about doing it, they take him on, they ship him off to Barbados where he can live happily ever after. Who knows? I mean, it's crazy.
Oh, yeah.
Because they're setting up the second chapter of this. The guys are going to get acquitted. 3 of the guys will get acquitted and 1 will get 5 years. And there's the tempest in the teapot right there.
Right, right. Well, I was telling Bill earlier, I had seen some I kind of, you know, I did it in between uploading some videos that I just uploaded of myself on my own channel. But I went into the video they showed all over Facebook and all over the media and and did some screen shooting. And so I could prove it with my own self, not just on Facebook. And at least 3 of those officers, the one standing there holding the crowd back by standing there, I want to say he was Oriental, and then the guy that was on the dude's neck, and then the cop next to him, they all had 3 different badges. And one of the guys had his badge stitched into his shirt. I seen it with my own 2 eyes.
Yeah, so there was no uniformity.
I've never seen right. And then the police car, the license plate, you've seen police cars, we all have. They all have their own little special plate. Right. It said police. It said the word police on the
license plate itself. That's bizarre.
On the license plate itself. That is very bizarre. So this is why I'm thinking, yeah.
Well, the front plate.
This was a.
Yeah, it does seem odd, but most people don't question these things, and that's why the 9/11 truth movement is pretty much dead, because there's not many people that are really willing to question official stories. I mean,
Right.
it's so easy to pull off a psyop if you have if you can get enough crisis act. I exposed a crisis actor, Jana, on CNN about a month and a half when the COVID thing first started, and he was some guy that was
Ooh.
crying that his partner died of the COVID, and the guy was bawling his eyes out, but not one drop of tear was coming out. And I caught that. I says, if you're crying hysterically, you got tears coming out of your eyes. This guy didn't have one tear coming out of his eyes. And I said, this is a crisis actor. This is a crisis
Oh,
actor.
absolutely.
Yes, they're
Absolutely.
fake. It was as phony as a $3 bill. The guy was going, I just lost my husband, and he was my love. You know, he was crying, and I thought, if he was crying, you'd see tears. There was not one glossy eye or tear coming out of his eye. And yes, crisis actors do exist.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Wow. That's, yeah. I mean, you know, and I was telling Bill earlier, I said, you know, I really hope
Uh-oh, you there?
things like this really do for real happen, which isn't, I don't think.
I
very
think, Bill,
often. I hope not
COVID-19
very
is all
often.
passe.
Oh,
It's all
oh, yeah.
forgotten about
Oh, yeah.
now. Isn't that funny?
Oh, well, yeah. Well, you probably have noticed in your own county or your own state. I know I have noticed. I know Bill has noticed. I know several people on this channel have noticed in the last, 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks, would you agree? The governors are no longer going live with all the COVID updates.
Nope.
That stopped.
Yeah.
It stopped
You
dead
know,
in its tracks,
can
and
get
it's
it on-
only happening online only.
Online only. Yes. Like me and
Hey, Bill, I'm
Bill's
going to
governor,
step
we
out
have
of
the
here for
same
about
governor.
15 minutes. I'll be back in. I've got to get something clean. I got to get my cats fed, okay, and get some things done, okay. I'll be right. I'll leave, but I'll come back, okay.
Okay, that's fine.
All right. Thank you. I'll listen to you on the live stream. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, but as I was saying, you know, we've noticed, you know, Kim Reynolds, she's not going live. You have to go to the TV channel that she's on, which is channel 4, and watch her live through Facebook or whatever. But none of them are going live anymore. None of them. At least not Nebraska, not Iowa, and not South Dakota.
No, they're not. They're not going live anymore. I have noticed that myself. Okay, but you know, my feelings when I look at all of the evidence that's out here, I say nobody's proved to me that there was a George Floyd. I say nobody's proved to me that anybody died at all. Okay, you know, we know
No
this
one
stuff
has proven
happens.
anything.
Yeah.
I've yet to even hear of when his funeral is. Yeah, exactly. And you haven't heard, well, they're going to have a big memorial for him, or his funeral is on, you know, June 10th at 2 p.m. at da-da-da Methodist Church. We've heard nothing. Something like that would be on the news if it was real. I mean, it would be played up, I would think. But I hope in a good way it is a psyop. It's all a false flag. Because if that were true, just for scenario sake, for talking sake only, if that situation was true, shit cops like that give good cops a bad name. And there are good cops out there. There are shit cops out there, but I just feel deep, something in my gut is just brewing, telling me that this is all fake. All of it. And it got us off the COVID for a while. And I'm so sick of the media lying to us. I'm so sick of it. And I don't know how to stop the media from lying.
I don't know what to tell you there, Jana, because the media is going to go on continuing to lie and continuing to lie. And that's what they do. You know, this is why I get sick when I watch what's going on. It's no different than if I was watching high-impact vlogs. This guy's a shill, for sure. He's ploy the establishment. But the constant complaining about, well, YouTube took our monetary system away from us. we can't gain money off of our videos, and and this type of stuff right there is, to me, it makes me sick. You could go find something else to make your living at. If you got to make your living off of talking truth that's going to destroy millions of people's lives and kill millions of people, but yet you think you got to make money off of telling the truth on that?
Right.
That stuff just eats me up. Why would you want to charge money for something that's going to destroy your life too?
Exactly. Exactly.
And Mitchell's in here with us. Hello, Mitchell.
Yay.
How you doing?
Hey, Mitchell. How you doing?
Pretty good. Hold on one sec. Hold on.
Yeah, he's got a bad signal already too, huh?
I thought I had bad signal. Oh, I hope they get my internet in soon.
Yeah, I would like to see that happen, so you get your internet in.
Right. I don't have to worry about using my phone and having it set just right. I mean, I have to set it on top of a Pringles can to get at least 2 bars for signal.
on top of a
so
on top of
Pringles
a
can.
Pringles can, huh?
I got some bad news. I got to run. Something just came up, so I have to run. I'm going to try to get you back later or next weekend.
Okay, well, that was a short visit.
That.
Okay, Mitchell.
Have a good evening.
Yep, you too, Mitchell.
Bye-bye.
Oh,
Yeah,
boy, everything's
well,
okay.
well, I don't know what's going on there, but okay, Mitchell came in, Mitchell left.
Right. He came in, said hello, see ya.
Yep, hello, guys. Okay, goodbye, guys.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I just...
I hope Steve comes back. I wouldn't mind seeing a couple other people come in, but
right.
Meanwhile, I'm going to look at the reality for what it is. I've had a very bad day over here, too, with all the drama that's been going on.
Mm-hmm.
And this is par for course for how people treat each other. And a matter of fact, just before the show started, I started getting PMs from the guy that Heather's now dating. And this guy's trolled me already 4 or 5 times on Facebook using Heather's account and sending me gay pornography and crap. Well, tonight he was telling me I suck you-know-what. He went under the video and was trolling me with gay shit, telling me I suck you-know-what. So then, fucking few minutes later, I told him to get the hell off of Heather's account. Heather's number shows up on my phone calling me, and it's this fucking creep. And he says, well, he just wants to call to talk like a man and tell me how he bangs women and I bang dudes.
Ew.
Yeah, exactly.
What?
And he started going on with I bang dudes and I do this and I do that. Okay? So I told him, so you bang dudes. I really don't need to know that. I flipped his words right back in his fucking face. And then I called him what he was, a fucking coward. Okay? And fucking hung up on him. Then I shut my phone down.
Wow.
But Heather's sitting back allowing this crap to happen.
Right. Oh, well, yeah, of course. Yeah, of course. She loves it.
Yeah, and laughing her tail off while she does it.
Mm-hmm. Jesus.
When I see First is back in here again, the guy that unblocked himself from my channel? That guy that unbanded himself from my channel?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He's back on the show again. Yep. And he's talking about the BBC porn. Yeah, that he inserted into Steve's live stream.
Yeah.
Okay, so he's getting his kicks out of it. It's all a game to him.
Right.
But the end game will be when he finds out he was used as a pawn. When it's all said and done and he's being killed off.
Yeah, exactly.
Because money was more important to him than his life.
Yep.
That'll be the real kick in the ass for him. When he finds out he was the perfect patsy who took the job and helped destroy his own nation, helped destroy other countries. okay, all for his selfish greed. And then when the people above him get their wants, well, they always do away with their patsies. And that will be the fate that First will be facing. Well, then you can explain to me, anybody wants to stick up for him, how he banned himself from my channel.
Yeah,
Please
himself
explain that to
especially.
me. He unbanned himself from my channel after he was banned. So don't tell me the guy's not working for the establishment.
Exactly.
How many of you can log into or go into somebody's channel and unban yourself? That's no lie. He knows he done that. I know he done that. It's completely ridiculous, okay? So,
Right.
you know, that's why I'm addressing him the way I'm addressing him. You know, you can brag about the money you're making, but to betray your own people and your own country and all over the world, but when it's all said and done, they don't care about that money. They own it. And they also own you. And when they're done using you, they do what they do with patsies and pawns all the time. They exterminate them. So his day will run out on him. And when it does, he'll find out, oh no, they was right, as they got a gun to the back of his head.
Exactly. Exactly.
It's
That's just like, that doesn't even blow my mind. I mean, this side of a year ago would blow my mind, but if he banned himself and then unbanned himself, he's definitely
I banned
establishment.
Yep, I banned him from my channel. All of his comments were gone because he was banned. The very next day he was unbanned, leaving a brand new comment.
Yeah. So hello, there's your.
Yeah.
Right.
So there, you don't need any more evidence than that to know that I wasn't wrong about this guy at all.
Right. And people are saying, Bill, just ban him again.
Yeah, what for?
Which, yeah, you could, but he'll unban himself.
He'll just
He'll be right back
unban
in.
himself. There's no point of it. He'll just unban himself. He already did it once. What's to stop him from doing it twice?
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty pathetic, okay? It really is.
Yeah.
It just shows how low this guy really is. He was never Steve's friend. Guaranteed
Right.
he's the guy that put the porn in Steve's freaking live streams.
Oh, guaranteed. Guaranteed. And notice since he's been talking about him, he hasn't said a word. I'm watching the chat. He's not saying a word now.
No, you know, no, I don't run. This person run, Bill, run, not hardly. I don't run. I just call people out for what they really are.
Right.
You know? And these are the type of people that are selling out their own people. Off of fucking something that will never get you anywhere. That tool called money that you sold everybody out for, don't worry, when it's all said and done, you won't be here no more. You'll have the same fate everybody else had.
Yep.
So what happens when they're young and they just take a job like this and they come from a family of wealth and they think they know everything and they think they know what's going on and they openly get involved in something like this and help destroy lives and kill people and then wonder why they're on the chopping block after they're done using you.
Yep.
That's what's always happened throughout history. And if you think it's any different now, man, you're totally wrong. History keeps replaying itself because of this crap. But unfortunately, the younger generation of people like his age, they have no idea. They just absolutely have no idea.
Right. Right.
It's sickening. It's disgusting, okay? He only proved one thing. He was never Steve's friend.
No, never.
He was there for one reason only. Yeah. He was there for one reason only, to set Steve Hoke up. And he flopped on his face when Steve actually stood up for me. And Hayden was on that show too. Hayden remembers it. You know, and I'm looking at the reality here. They're burning infrastructure. They're putting fences around all your damn beaches around the United States. None of the beaches have opened back up. The land up in the mountains that were burned, what was burned in California, including national parks, are never opening up again. That is part of Agenda 21, right in your face.
Yep.
I don't see how people cannot see what's going on when it's right in their face.
I don't exactly. Yep. I agree. You know, like I was telling you before, just me and you chatting, you know, my sister, she was like, "Oh, you watch too much YouTube. You believe everything on the internet. If it's on the internet, it's got to be true." It wasn't about that. I said, "No, I researched into things deeper and find out this is fake and this here actually has some truth to it."
Yep.
You've got to do the research. And then she finally started about a couple months before this COVID thing all started. She's like, "Oh my God, I bet you anything this, and this is going to happen." Boom. She was right. She did her research. "No, I understand." You know, she told me, and I'm like, "See, do your research."
Yeah.
So now she's called some shit out, you know, on her own. And she's like patting herself on the back. And I'm like, yeah, you should pat yourself on the back because now you're figuring it out for yourself.
Yes, and Coyle Still, you're correct. Agenda 21, hiding in plain sight. Right in your face.
Yep.
It's sickening that they're just getting by with it. Well, that's why I say this George Floyd thing was fraudulent. Not just the stuff that you noticed and pointed out, but there's way too much. You have clips, that's all you have. You don't have an entire video showing what happened from the time the police showed up. You don't have no police footage at all. No body cam, no squad car footage. None of it exists. And even the death fucking, the only article on George, this cop that was arrested for killing him, okay? Mm-hmm. His booking, his mugshot, is that of an ID that's probably 10 years old?
Right.
And that don't send up red flags? You know, I guess people have lost their ability to have any kind of critical thinking skills whatsoever.
Right. I do see here I got called out. Waldo said I can't do a 5-second search for Minneapolis police license plates. They all say police. Well, I was in Minneapolis this side of just a year or two ago, so they may have changed it in the last year or two.
Well, you know what?
When we went camping, they didn't say police. So
no,
sorry,
you know what? I lived in Howard Lake, Minnesota. I've been to Minneapolis many times. I lived in Minnesota. And no, their license plate on the rear does not say police. It's on the side, both sides of the car, and on the back hatch, but it's not on the license plate. And no, they don't wear different types of badges in one city.
No.
Outside of sheriff's department or police department, no.
Thank you.
And when you got 3 cops supposedly standing there with different badges, no. If people are that, slow, then you better sit back and wake up and start paying attention to what's going on around you. Pay attention to your local cops. Pay attention to your local sheriff's office. See what their uniforms look like and their cars look for. Check them out in detail. Compare them to the next. And then pay attention when the stuff like this happens.
Yep. And I'm not, bringing Waldo's name out to make him feel bad. I'm not. But it doesn't take a brain surgeon to figure out that police cars do not say police on the rear license plate. Maybe the front one in some states, okay. Some, like Arkansas, I used to live in Arkansas years ago. You didn't even have to have a front license plate. You only had a rear. So I could say, like, for example, back then, Arkansas, the front plate might say police,
Yeah, because
number
they did,
one, number
because
two,
they
number
didn't need
85.
Yeah, because they didn't need a plate.
Right, but the back license plate is the legit registered license plate to that vehicle.
Yes.
So, and you know, in Iowa, you and I both know, like state troopers have a certain type of plate. Sheriff deputies, you know, the sheriff's department have a certain type of license plate, and then your local police all have different license plates. So, yeah.
Yeah. Then I had somebody leave a question here. He thought my
Okay.
live stream started at 9 o'clock. And I'm like, I'm going to answer that for people. I started the live stream and the OBS studio had a glitch. And I had to
Yes.
exit it, close it out, and bring
Yep.
it back up and restart. And then I
Mhm.
hit a certain spot in that video of Steve's, and everything went black. And I'm looking at both sides and I'm seeing everything black. It's not going away, it's not going away. But we all hear it, but we don't see it. So I closed it and started it again. Okay,
Right.
so, you know, there's not much I can do about that. So if it looks like I've done 3 live streams or 2 live streams tonight on my channel when I'm done, that will be why.
Right. Yep. And I could vouch for that because I was in chat only at that point, and as I messaged you, I said I'm still trying to upload my video on my channel. I was listening, and I heard you getting a little frustrated with that happening. So yes, I can vouch for you on that.
Yeah, so, well, that's what happens, you know. And then Steve told me the second time was him. He had put his cam down and had a black picture. But he didn't tell me that,
Right.
so, you know. And I already had one glitch that I normally never get from the OBS studio. But, you know, it's software, man.
Right.
You get glitches. And when you get glitches, the only thing
Yep.
you can do is close them out and restart them.
Yep. Yep.
So, you know, I had to
know
do
how
what
that
I had
goes.
to do. I didn't leave the live stream. I just had to do what I had to do.
Right. Well, just like me today, I messaged you. I mean, there's no shame in admitting that. Saying I was having troubles getting frigging sign out of my one YouTube account into the next one. I finally had to do a hard restart on my computer, and then finally it let me in. I'm like, what the hell? So I hear you. I hear you loud and clear.
Yeah,
You know,
so I've had
it's a
an
glitch.
interesting...
It's a glitch.
So I've had an interesting couple of nights here. I'm to a point now where I'm most likely going to be blocking Heather on
Yeah,
Facebook
probably a good idea.
and deleting her off my phone. And I'll say, well, she still
Right.
has your number. Ah, but people don't know Bill. If you're not in my contacts list, I don't answer the phone. Nope, I never
There you
answer
go.
to a number I don't know. And since Heather's number's
That's right.
not in my head, guess what? She won't be getting a hold of me ever again.
Right. Yeah, there's easy ways to prevent that kind of stuff. I know what you're saying there too. I've had to do that.
Well, you know, this is the real kick in the ass. You want to hear how desperate she is? This guy's dating another woman who he claims he's broke up with, who he has a child with. Well, he sleeps at this woman's house in her bed 3 days a week. He even told Heather after having sex with her that he also has sex with the other one. So here you go. This is what I'm telling you.
Sick.
This guy thinks he's a fucking stud because he's manipulated Heather into believing he's not with her no more while he goes and sleeps with her 3 days a week. And then he comes home and sticks it in her.
You know, okay, and I'm just going to say this in Heather's defense, and the guys that, well, actually both of them, they're both obviously not very smart, but hello, STD.
Yeah.
How do you not know you're not going to get gonorrhea or herpes or what is my brother-in-law say?
VD, venereal disease, yeah.
Gonorrhea syphilis or I don't know, but it's like gonorrhea, chlamydia, syphilis, and AIDS, and some other thing. But it's this big long word, all those put together. And the first time he said it, I'm like, oh, what? And so he said it again, and I figured it out. And I'm like, oh my God. So all those words put together, I mean, why are they playing, you know, him and her both? Really, if you think about it, they're both playing each other. And they're both really kind of sort of like anti TFL. You're playing with each other's literal physical health. That's so stupid on their part.
Well, that part and the fact that Heather's done nothing but lie. And lie,
Oh,
lie.
true.
And even my nephew showed up, okay, under under the video I posted, and he said a few choice words to Heather because he lived in the house for over a year. Well, then Heather tried to go around it and say, well, but you you never moved to Iowa. Okay, so you haven't been in the house since then. And then she said some other stuff, and Matthew come back because he's over there looking and he's seeing Heather's family and friends are saying how I used her for money and I constantly abused her. Okay? And
Okay.
Matthew gets pissed off, my nephew, and he says, no. He says, I'm going to tell you straight up, Bill's never abused her. And matter of fact, he says, what I witnessed is only a fraction of the drama she started here on Facebook. He says, I was in that house for over a year. That gal did nothing every day almost but make drama.
Yeah.
And he
I
would
believe
be
it.
correct. That's exactly what she done. Well,
just
you
hate
know,
women that
people
are like
asking
that.
if Steve's coming back. He said he was, right? So you have to give him time to do his thing, right? And we'll all wait and
Right.
see. That's all we can do, right?
We'll see.
We'll see.
Right. We'll see. And you never know, something else could come up, and maybe he can't come back in. You know, he's his own person.
He sure is. He don't want anybody to be here. I'm glad he came on tonight, and I'm sure a lot of people
Oh
are.
yeah.
But don't press your luck, okay? He has a life of his own, and he's been under a lot of stress of his own. You know, and then, of course, after he got slam dunked by First with the porn, why would he feel like coming up and doing a live stream again? And then he watches people troll and people just lying to him and saying how they like him and they're on his side and going to other channels slamming him. I'm sorry, but, you know, he sees this stuff happen just like I do. And so, you know, I'm glad he showed up tonight. Steve's a good man. He really is a good man.
He is. Yeah, I agree. I agree. Fully.
I don't have any issues with Steve. Steve and
No,
I
me
are
neither.
friends. We talk a lot more on the phone than you people even know. But I don't push him to come on here. He comes on here when he wants.
Right.
You know? The only thing I tell people is I need somebody in the live stream with me besides me because I'm not going to do a live stream on Saturday night and do it the length of time I've been doing it if people don't come in and participate.
Right. Exactly.
You know, that's how I handle it. If you don't anticipate, then when I'm out of stuff to say and say what I need to say, the show's over. That's how that works. If you want it to go on for any length of time, you got to anticipate and be part of it.
Exactly. Exactly.
So
And
I'm
he's
only
such
being fair.
Right. You know, and Steve, he's such a sweetheart. And I'm not saying other guys in here aren't. I'm not saying that they're not. Just since he did go live tonight, that's why I'm bringing him up. You know, and he's a nice looking man. I just don't understand why women treat him like crap. I don't get it.
Unfortunately, there's a lot of people who get treated like crap, okay?
Yep. And I'm not sitting here saying women don't get treated like crap either, but I am for, you know, I want to stand up for the men that do get treated like crap because not every woman is like that, but that seems to be the ones that these women draw themselves to these TFL men. And it's like the women need to, excuse my French, but fucking grow up and treat people like they want to be treated. You know, you want treated like crap? Okay. Then these men have a right to treat them like crap to an extent. You know, kind of a little bit of karma, a little bit. What goes around comes around. And I feel bad for the true TFLers. I really do. It's not fair to them. It really isn't.
Yeah, this is probably okay. It's gone now. We had a fake Steve Hoke in here, and then he came right back after I removed him. So I abandoned him. Now, if it's first, of course, he might go unban himself, right?
Right. Let's see. That might be first playing Steve.
Yeah. Very well could be.
Even Lone Hiker called it. Lone Hiker called it. He said fake hookah, I believe. Wow. That was a good one. Good job, fake.
Well, yeah, that was fake. That was not Steve Hoka.
Right.
Okay, I'm not going to say for sure it was first, but I wouldn't put it past him. After what I've seen from that guy, no, I wouldn't put it past him.
Exactly.
Pretty pathetic. These are low-life people. You know, when you care about what's going on in this world, and you only want what's right on everybody, you shouldn't have to be putting up with shit like this. And these people, like First, are young. They're easily manipulated. They look at dollar signs and competition because they think everything's a competition in society. Everything. And, oh, I'm going to get paid this much money. Yeah, I'll do anything, man. I'll help destroy the world and kill millions of people for my money. That's really what it comes down to.
Right. Ooh, looks like Mitchell might be coming back in.
Well, no, I don't think it ever exited off. On the live stream itself, for whatever reason, okay, it's not exiting off. It's still showing it on my side, and I'm not exiting the OBS studio again, unless I'm forced to. So you're going to see him in the live stream when he's not here, okay?
Oh, gotcha, okay.
Because I don't want to close out the OBS studio again. It's having glitches. The only thing I can think of is next week before I do the live stream, I'm going to reboot the system. Just so I know it's a fresh reboot. Because I'm definitely having a software issue going on tonight.
Yeah. That's true.
But you know, the minute I exit it and come back, we're starting all over again. So I'm going to leave it alone unless I'm forced to. But yeah, I don't trust anything that's going on. I can see a second round coming our way. And I think there's going to be a lot of evil stuff happening this year. I don't think 2020 is going to be in anybody's favor.
No. Nope. And I believe, well, what I mentioned to you earlier, I do believe someone I know there, you know, that lives in these nursing homes, we'll just call them that. There's going to be a lot of, those are the easiest ones to take out. That's where I feel quite a little bit of our depopulizing is going to come from.
Yeah, I think their population reduction is going to start with the second round because they'll drop real bugs on us.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I was talking, I went to McDonald's, and there was a young girl in there, and she was telling me, I told her a little bit about the mask, that if you wear that all the time, I know you got to wear it on your job, but you're breathing back in your CO2. And she says, I know, but I'm forced to wear it. She says, I have a friend that she was wearing it all the time on her job because she had to, and she got really sick and couldn't breathe. And she went into the hospital, and they found out she had CO2 poisoning. Huh, I wonder where that come from, huh?
Right? I wonder. Even I, as a blonde, can't. And I'm blonde. I only talk about myself like that. But me as a blonde, I just don't know if I can figure that one out. Duh.
Yeah, so you know, when she tells me this, I believe her. I'm sorry because you're breathing in your CO2, which is poison.
Right. Your body was not meant to breathe that in on a regular basis. When you're hyperventilating, that's a different story. Full-blown hyperventilating, that's when you breathe in and out the paper bag.
Yes.
Like we said earlier today, a surgeon, you know, he masks up, gloves up, gets all sterile for surgery. I get that, of course. But you are not meant to constant. I mean, you wake up in the morning, you take a shower, put your mask on all day. You go to bed at night, I don't know, with or without the mask. Like I said to you earlier, I've seen people, the only person in their vehicle driving with the windows up, maybe their music on, whatever. They're the only person in their car driving down the road with a freaking mask on. What are you thinking? There's already been true reports in my area of people doing that and passing out at the wheel and causing a car accident. Hello? What are you thinking?
Yeah. They pass
So-
at the wheel. Well, you know, you drink, you drive, you get in a wreck. If you're too
Right.
tired to be driving, you don't belong behind the wheel.
Right. And then now we're breathing in our own carbon monoxide, which is making us pass out at the wheel because we're dumb enough to wear our mask 24/7. Well, sorry, but at all, period, in my opinion. But those that do want to wear the mask to be safe, fine, whatever, it's your choice. But 24/7, okay, we'll see you, 6 feet under in about 4 days.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what the government wants. Guess what? Well, just the other day, where I live, Menards has a mask, or it's like no mask, no entrance policy right here where I live. So I had to go get a part for my dad. You know, I had to pick him up these literally round saw blades, like you would saw through a steel door to make the door hole for like the doorknob. Those kind of round saws,
Right.
or saw blades. Anyway, so I had to go into Menards because it was closest. And I had my little mask in my pocket, but I was going to try to walk in without one. And this guy approaches me. He's like, ma'am, if you don't have a mask, we can sell you one for $2, or you must leave. You cannot shop here. I said, I have a mask, sir. And I said, it's stupid, but I'll wear it for about a minute. And I walked through. And then I took my mask off.
Yeah.
And then I had a couple Menards people look at me and I'm like, don't even. This is not a communistic country. You're not making it into one for me. I was born and raised here. I'm an American. I'm a free American. And if I want to pull the sovereign American act on you, I will. Oh man, they walked away from me.
Oh, they got a little upset over it, huh?
Oh, they got a little upset over it. I'm like, you can't force me to do anything. And I said, and I'm here to spend some money. If you want some money spent at your store, great. I will do what I want within reason. I'm not going to break laws. I said, or I will take my pert near $3,000 bill to Lowe's. Oh boy, they really backed off then. Of course they want the money. They want me to spend that kind of money at their store. I only spent, I think, $18. What they don't know doesn't hurt them, but it backed them off. You know, it's like, Jesus, criminally sakes of Moses. You know, I always carry it in my purse just in case. If he would have approached me and would have said, you know, ma'am, we really prefer that you wear a mask. If you have one, could you please put one on? If he would have been a little bit more, even, I guess, approachable and more compassionate about it, I wouldn't have been such a bitch. But don't approach me on, well, for one, like you're going to beat the shit out of me because I don't have a mask on the minute I walk in the door. You know, and if we can sell you one for $2, and if you don't have one, well, you have to leave. I mean, he was just rude as F. So I was a rude bitch back. I admit it.
Well, you got to do what you got to do, right?
I did. I did. So I get back and Dad's like, so how'd it go? I said, well, they made me wear my mask. He goes, that didn't go over so well for you, did it? And I said, no, Dad, and we ain't gonna even talk about it because you'll get mad at me. Here's your saw blades. Let's get working. And he's just like, hey, I'm not pissing her off. And normally I can't do that with my dad. He'll be like, well, God damn it, Jana, how dare you? No, he's like, it didn't go over so well, did it? And I'm like, no, but I got your blades. Let's get this on.
Well, you know, I guess my biggest issue is the fact that I'm watch people like High Impact Flicks. He says good stuff. He tells a lot of truth when it comes to what's going on, but he thinks he has to have money to, in order for him to fight back against what'll destroy everybody's life, including his own. He reminds me of an Alex Jones, 'cause he's constantly flashing his merchandise in your face.
Right.
And whining about if he don't get his monetary gain from YouTube, that's how he pays his house payment and how he pays his bills. And I'm like, oh, so your bills relies on telling something, you're charging money to tell truth that'll destroy your life and everybody's life? So that would be like the equivalent of somebody breaks into your home with intentions of doing harm to you, and you're going to say, well, if you pay me, I'll fight back.
Right. Right.
I mean, that's what that's the equivalent of. Yep,
Yep.
you're going to have to pay me for me to fight back and protect myself, you know.
Right. Right. Yep. You know, speaking of protection, you know, protecting yourself, your home, your family. I don't care if it's your dog or your cat. You know, I don't care if it's your rat. You know, I am one. I do have. I mean, I have no problem saying I live in Iowa. I do have my license. You know, it's the non-professional permit to carry. I think it expires next year, so I need to practice with my mom's gun. I'm a really good shot with her. I think she's got a 38 special. It's a little one of those little revolvers that holds 6-hole bullets, and you shoot the target, and it, you know, you spin it around on your finger, and you on the end of the gun and holster it like back in the movies. But anyway,
yeah.
I'm a good shot with it. Hit the center of the target every time, and I want to renew my permit, even though I do not. You know, I don't right now own a full-blown firearm. Now, this side of 3 years ago, I had 4 firearms in the house. I had 2 9mm, a 22 pistol, and a 22 rifle. And I sold everything, you know, with being by myself. I'm sure most people are like, why would you do that? You know, that's crazy when you're by yourself. Well, I was thinking of my grandkids. The handheld guns, you know, the 9mm and the pistol could all be in my gun safe. Well, I didn't have a gun safe for the rifle, so I figure if I can't keep everything in a safe, I'm getting rid of everything. But, you know, now is that I've noticed, you know, I've got a coworker who is one of these licensed guys that can legally sell a gun to you. He legally can transfer a gun from, say, Iowa. If you sell it to someone in Nebraska, you go to his house in front of him, and he gets the numbers off the gun that you're selling to the dude in Nebraska or Iowa, whatever, across state line. I mean, he does all that. I can't remember what they're called. But anyway, he's like, you need to get a gun. You need to protect yourself. La la. I said, I got plenty of weaponry in my house. It's less, or less than lethal. But I said, it'll bring a sumo wrestler to his knees in a heartbeat. So I'm very well protected. And he's like, I still think you need a firearm. You know, he's really protective of me, a good friend of mine. And he's like, you being a widow and not necessarily having a boyfriend or a man in your life, but just that extra barrier of protection. I'm like, I'm fine. Trust me, I got this. I got a Chihuahua, you know? And he started, and I'm like, trust me, she's a bitch. But no, I mean, I've got, you know, less than lethal, you know, plenty of rounds, and I don't play. I target practice all the time with it, right on target every time with it too. But I do need to. I really want to buy that little 38 special of my mom's, you know, from my dad. See what he wants for it, or if he doesn't want to sell it, but if he'll let me have it in my possession, because we're only, you know, 30 paces from each other, just for my own protection. But yeah, but everybody needs to start. I mean, my friend that does this, he sells them and he can sell ammo. The FedEx truck shows up every day at work, and rifles and handguns and God knows what else, probably bow and arrows and stuff, and ammunition out the wazoo. And he can't sell them. I mean, as fast as he sells them, they're buying twice as much. Because Agenda 21, NWO, people are wanting to keep their private property. They're wanting to keep their land, and we're finding out that at least in our area, they're going to do what they have to keep it.
Well, this is just it. People are going to wind up having to resort to violence and possibly dying to try to keep what they got, because these sick psychopaths at the top, like Rothschild dynasty and so on, they want to take possession and ownership of everything. People ain't going to be allowed to own a house, let alone a car or anything else. They don't want you being able to own nothing. They want to own it all. And that right there is how psychopathically sick these people are. They actually believe they own us. Why do you think your birth certificate number is in the stock market? Because they look at you as cattle. And for people who think your birth certificate number isn't in the stock market, you better go wake up and do your damn research.
Yep. You know what? I even saw somebody, where you pull the sovereign. I said it earlier, like your sovereign, American sovereignty, or whatever that word is. I've watched on, just one night I was watching on YouTube, just bored out of my mind, and I was just flipping through some shit on YouTube, and this guy, he calls whoever it was, I want to say maybe, to renew his driver's license or something. And he's like, well, I'm told my birthday is this. I was raised that my name is this. But nobody can prove to me that's really my name. Well, your birth certificate. Well, the state of Washington, we'll say, or whatever the hell, we'll use the state I know, whatever, Arkansas, says that's my birth certificate, but you can't prove it to me. I was a baby. You can't prove to me that's my birth certificate. And he really, if you think about it, he has a point. He has a point. We were a baby. How do we know that's really our birth certificate?
We don't.
I mean, I was raised as my name with my birthday, which everybody makes fun of, April 20th. Thanks, everybody in chat now is going to go, oh, pot smoker. It's supposedly National Pot Smoking Day. And thanks, Mom. It's also Hitler's birthday, and we're German. Thanks, Mom. But anyway, that's how we're raised. I mean, I know when my kids were born, I named my children, but really, if you think about it, you pull that American sovereignty or whatever, it's like that guy did. And it was
Jada, did I hear you say that you want to have a nice man in your life to help protect you more?
Yes.
I'm available if you want to move to Ohio. I can get some room for you.
I just moved a month and a half ago from a small town of, 1,500 people to a big, huge town.
Jada,
but I live kind of in the boonies. But...
If we hook up, you're going to have to help me clean up around the house, though.
Oh, okay.
I got a lot of shit I got to get organized. I keep saying I keep putting it off, but anyways, yeah. Jada, listen, I'm glad we're on better terms now. I didn't trust a lot of women in the band. Well, no, because I think you are a cool person.
Oh, thank you. I try to be, I've talked to Bill for what, Bill, would you say 3 years now?
Yeah.
Give or take.
Area.
And
I don't think you have an agenda, because there's a lot of these girls that jump in the manosphere. You got to vet them out. You can tell when there's so much just deception. They'll show their cleavage. They'll show their cleavage and say, "Oh, I feel sorry for you, man. Oh, you're so beautiful, baby. Hey, can I meet you?"
Right. No, I know there was one night here, 3 weeks ago, I was live with Bill, and God, I can't even think of the guy's name now, and I feel so bad. But he said he was talking about this one woman, and the gal was making fun of him because he wouldn't do this for her and he wouldn't do that. And we're talking, to put it unfortunately blunt, sexual things. And she was like going off telling all her friends that he won't do this for me, and I'm like, wait a minute here. That is supposed to stay behind closed doors. Any woman that talks about it that explicitly is a piece of poop.
Well, that was the very first thing that Girl Writes What used to do, is oh, by the way, I really love sex. Come on, that sounds so contrived.
Yes, thank you. I mean, like me and Bill have talked about, and we've talked many times on the channel, whatever happened to getting to know someone? You can sit there and video chat.
I mean, yeah, that's the best feeling in the world, when you realize that, hey, I've known this girl for a couple years, and man, then you have the intimate feelings. But it's like, if you can build friendship first, then that's a knockout punch. I agree. But
right.
But I can see where Bill gets upset with these people that make the whole TFL thing all about sex. It's not an incel. It was like, first kept telling me you need to ditch the word TFL in favor of incel. Like, he goes, it just isn't going anywhere. I says, no, because TFL really describes a phenomenon of most men just want to find one good woman in their life. Which, by the way, Bill, isn't going to happen in this. I think the dating scene is all but done.
Oh.
And you know what? Yeah. That's so sad. That is just so sad. It really is.
I mean, you still see couples, but it's far and few, and it's, I don't know. I mean, I would like to think that there's someone available for me at some point. I mean, I have everything that, I have everything to offer. I have a house and I have all that stuff, but I'm not really looking right now. And, but, if somebody came along and I really trusted them, and it wasn't like, okay, an apocalyptic scenario where a woman needs a guy. No, I don't think so. I mean, it's, you want somebody that's going to want you for who you are.
Right. Exactly. And I've said before, live, I've said before, my husband that passed away, and may he rest in peace until I get there. I'm just going to be honest, to most women, he was probably not a good looking man. I didn't look, and I was honest, when I first met the guy, I was working full-time as a credit union teller, a bank teller. And he would come through the drive, and he's kind of excuse my French, but he's kind of an attitude dickhead, but he didn't say things that were rude. He just had that look about him. Well, anyway, longer story, a little bit shorter, he kept talking to my supervisor about me, and then I found out about it, and I'm like, she's like, you really should go on a date with him. And I'm like, no, he's a dick. And this was me back then. This was, God, 2011. But that's the way he came off. And he never smiled, but he was always, but yet at the same time, he was always, thank you, ma'am. Yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. This is what I need today, please. Polite, but still had that jerkiness about him. And so then when she said something, you really need to get to know him. He's really a sweet guy. He's been through a lot. And I'm like, okay, then I feel bad for saying that. Well, then I got to know him. I took the time to get to know him.
That's the way it should be. It's hard to push that, Gina. The problem is,
yes.
But here's the thing. I said this to Bill one time. He talked about this girl he met. He's told me this several times. You can't obligate people to get to know you. If they decide they don't like you, you can't say to them, hey, you better first get to know me. But it's got to happen organically. But people are just not willing to get to know somebody, and they're missing out on so much.
Right.
Yeah, there's no trust. There is no trust anymore. There's no care for other people.
Right.
It's mostly usury and selfishness.
Right. And this is the thing, I got to know David, and that's where I found him handsome from the inside. When I got to know him, he was just like, oh, he is just so handsome. Not the outside shell. I'm not talking about the outside. Could have cared less. I cared about what came from his heart. Then the handsomeness from the outside came out. You know what I'm saying? It came from the inside first, then. I didn't care what any other woman thought. Me and him walking hand in hand, in love, down the street, window shopping, whatever. I didn't care what anybody else thought. I loved him for who he was.
And it's hard to do today. I don't know if you agree with this, Gina, but I don't think women have a sex drive like okay, let me put it to you this way. Women don't have that heart palpitating, oh my God, I really feel for this guy. I don't know if it's the drugs or what, but it's like women are nowadays are living in an alternative universe. I mean, it's very hard to meet people organically anymore unless I don't even know if it's even humanly possible. It's just like I could go out to every function I want to, sit at a bar, sit at a restaurant, go out to a Black Lives Matter thing, even pretend to be a liberal. And there's no guarantee. Although I did say today, if I would have been wearing a Black Lives Matter T-shirt, I might have had a better chance today.
Maybe.
Maybe.
You know, and I've heard the girls, some of these girls just, excuse my French, I apologize, but piss me off. I've sat with my sister and brother-in-law. There's times that after work, we'll go and hit up a place here in town called the Wheelhouse Bar and Grill. And just to relax after work for one drink and, maybe a pizza or whatever. And some of these women, oh my Lanta, the pickup lines they have. So finally one night I couldn't take it anymore. And
what do you mean women have pickup? The women or the men?
The women. Oh my God, they're terrible.
I don't know where you're
going. Terrible.
I never have women try to pick me up. Maybe that's a good thing. I can save my money.
Oh, you know how you see in the movies, are you just, is that a gun in your pocket or whatever? You just happy to see me. I've actually heard women say that. I don't know,
Bill. I mean, Bill, you throw your 2 cents in on this. I just don't see women. I imagine it happens.
There is not too many women who will do the approaching, but there are a few.
Yeah, there are a few. And they're the ones that I have seen really, truly, hand to heaven. I have seen, half their cleavages hanging out because, you got it, you flaunt it. Okay, whatever. And then they're like, is that a gun in your pocket or are you just excited to see me? And I'm like,
I sure as hell wish a woman would come up to me and do that.
Okay, but I'm just like, why can't you just go, and say, I see you're sitting here alone. Do you care if I sit next to you? What happened to a nice thing like that?
Because if you're a guy sitting alone, you probably in her eyes are a loser.
I suppose. I mean,
Bill. Anyways, yeah, I think that Bill. I've kind of laid off the TFL thing for a while because since this COVID thing started, now the riots.
Yeah.
I don't even think that it's even something worth worrying about.
Oh, there's more division since the COVID. Way more division, which is exactly what the government wanted. Division of communities, first and foremost communities, if you ask me.
Oh yeah,
then,
communities
of course,
first,
division
and then
the
the sex is second. Yeah.
Yes. People are afraid to meet each other because of
Bill,
the COVID.
you should see this live. Did you get the link that I just sent you?
Yeah, I just have it.
It is look at this shit, Bill. This is unfucking believable. Friggin' believable. You should see this. This is live going on right now.
Yeah.
Police everywhere. The worst place to be right now for these riots or these protests and riots are Seattle. Seattle is going to look like a third world country by the time this protesting slows down. The streets are going to look like a third world country.
Oh yeah. Well, we also have Corey in here, guys.
Oh, cool.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Hey, how are you?
I'm all right. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm glad to hear you're doing okay. That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm doing all right in this crazy ass world, and I'm in fucking New World Order, but yeah, I'm doing all right.
Right. Yep. Yeah, it was kind of fun today at work. We talked about NWO today at work today with a customer. I couldn't believe it, but it was an interesting conversation. That's for sure.
Well, the dating scene is completely destroyed, and that's something I do agree with Steve on. The dating scene is dead, and with what's coming into today's society, I don't think there's time to be worrying about going out there and getting a date when you may not even be alive in a year or two from now.
Right.
Hey, Corey, what is your whole thing about the Black Lives Matter? Do you think that this stuff is just a trap they're setting us in for?
Exactly. I talked to Bill off air about it, and it's totally a bunch of bullshit, in my opinion. And
It's dividing people even further. Listen, you know what
it's just bullshit.
You know what the number one thing the communists do as soon as they take over? They kill the very people that helped them. That's the very first thing they do. That is like the modus operandi, because they feel if you're crazy enough to do the things we've told you, you'll probably turn on us.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I would even doubt if all these black ball players that are going after Drew Brees, they'll be the first to be eliminated by the New World Order. They're absolutely terrorizing this guy's life now. I mean, Drew Brees is taking abuse like you wouldn't believe, and he gave $5 million to the black community in New Orleans, and it's not good enough. No black athlete's ever done that.
No. But I think he's still a puppet in this show that's going on, you know? He's still a puppet in the show. So we'll see how this unfolds in the fucking.
He could be a puppet. It could be. I think that he realized he overstepped his bounds. But there's Mitchell. I see he's back in the chat.
How you doing?
There's Mitchell. Hi, Mitchell. Again.
How you doing? I'm here.
Yeah.
Good.
You know.
Pretty good. What's today's trending on?
What's that?
What's today's topic on?
Well, we've been going back and forth. We've been talking about the protests going around. We've been talking about Agenda 21, NWO, because that's what this is. Okay, and then, of course, a little bit about the dating scene, you know, which is dead.
Yeah. Which is dead, and if you think about it, all of it kind of coincides together.
Okay. No, I really think that the whole thing has just been going bad for a long time, the dating scene.
Mm-hmm.
I really think the whole thing has been going lame for a couple decades now.
Well, Mitchell, I'm sort of with Steve on this. I'm telling you, NWO was the crux of the dating scene's problem to begin with. That's where it came from. Go ahead, Steve.
Yeah, exactly. The whole dating scene was the crux of NWO. It was they first had to divide the sexes, and then once they did that, they were able to divide people, and it's worked perfectly. I mean, I don't like to just create these arbitrary talking points, but I really believe the dating scene was the way they were able to succeed with all these these protests about, you know, Me Too, all this nonsense. And it ultimately, once you divided the sexes, you pretty much, it's your fair game.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that's where it come from. You know, and right now I keep witnessing Agenda 21 playing in everybody's face, and it just blows me away how so many people are oblivious to what's going on right in their face. And they just can't see it because they've never looked. So they're unable to see it. Then they're like, huh? You know, and that's sad to see that, but that's, you know, that is a lot of what we're seeing going on. We're watching people just falling for everything that their television set fed them. You know, and you can't get this through some people's minds. The dating scene is dead for that reason. And it's only going to get worse, you know. I was going to also say this real quick. When Steve Hoka was gone, we had a new Steve Hoka show up. And, and conveniently, I removed him. And then conveniently, we had First show up.
Uh-huh. But then, Steve, once Bill called First out, when he showed up, First all of a sudden zipped his lip and left. At least didn't, well, I should say left on chat. I haven't seen him say anything. Big wimp. Not, you know, First being the big wimp. He's big and bad until he's called out, and then he just shushes.
Well, the way I see it, it's just been going bad for a long time. What's responsible for it? There's a lot of complex factors.
Right.
There's a lot of different I mean, it's gone bad for a lot of different reasons. But that's my feeling about it. It's just going bad for a whole variety of different reasons.
Yeah.
You can't really put your finger on it, but it's just a lot of different reasons it's going bad.
Well, yeah, right now, Mitchell, as sad as this is to say, I can understand why you can't put your finger on it, okay? And unfortunately, there's not a lot I can do about that.
There's really nothing anybody can really do about it.
Well, I know where the dating scene, why it went bad. So does Steve. Well, I recognize it. And it is NWO. It was no accident. It's been deliberately done. And when you say, well, it's got a lot of reasons, well, them lot of reasons all come from years of social engineering deliberately done. That's sad to say, but that is the truth. Okay, we got all quiet here. It looks like Corey disappeared.
Yeah, and
Steve's got his mic muted. And Mitchell,
Okay.
you there? Okay, I'm not hearing anybody, huh? I hear you, Jamie.
Yeah, that's weird. All of a sudden, I wonder if somebody's coming in the backside somehow.
I don't know.
Oh, I hear a voice now. There's Mitchell, I think.
Okay, I'm not going to be on too long tonight because I got some things, but I did want to say that the dating scene has been going bad for a long time, but there's a lot of reasons for it. At one time it was a lot easier, but I think now, people won't even talk to you out there. It could be a very lonely, very alienating world out there.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you're someone who is, really good at manipulating people. If you're not one of these people, it's going to be rough on you.
Right.
If I was someone who was like, just wouldn't even matter what you look like, but just really good at knowing how to manipulate people and lie and be a bullshitter. If you're just a down to earth, honest person, it's going to be rough on you no matter what, not just dating, but, other facets of life as well. It's almost like you're going to, have to know how to bullshit, know how to be very manipulative, and even have some sociopathic qualities about you in order to succeed, whether it's a dating scene or whether it's the career scene. But
what are you succeeding with if that's what you have to have? What are you succeeding with? Absolute drama and failure?
Exactly. I mean, because most of the people that are successful in that are going to be better at drama, better at being manipulative, and all these other things, where a lot of people aren't.
Yeah. Well, Corey did leave, and Corey had a good reason for leaving.
But I'm just being honest from my own perspective, what I see out there.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And so what does Steve got to say? He went quiet on us. Maybe he's away from his PC.
That could be.
But, someone who, is really good at manipulating, because someone who's really good at manipulating, they're also less likely going to give off bad vibes, unfortunately.
Right.
Well, you shouldn't have to play games or manipulate, Mitchell.
You shouldn't, no, but unfortunately that's the way things are structured, and it shouldn't have to be that way. I'm not sure how or why this got structured this way, especially in this American culture.
Well, it's not just the American culture. This is all over the world. It's easy to pay attention to what's going on in America, but when you look at the whole dynamics of the dating scene and TFL, that's global.
Right.
That's not just in America.
There's probably areas that are worse. Canada's worse.
Well, you got Australia, Okay, they're not good. United
No, they're
Kingdom,
worse.
yep. You know, you start looking around you, there's a whole list of countries where TFL is ramping, okay? And it's no accident. Why do you think we have protests for George Floyd all over the world? In all of the history of mankind, if a cop killed somebody in one country, it's never, ever, ever gone to protest globally. But George Floyd has. And
But
then
you know what?
pandemics is the other one, Mitchell. In
Mhm.
all of the history of the world, we've never had a pandemic that went worldwide. So within a few months, we have a, a pandemic, a planned-demic that went worldwide.
Right.
And now we have George Floyd worldwide with absolutely no body cam footage, no police footage,
Yeah, I want to
no,
see the body cams.
yep, no nothing that confirms anything really happened.
But you know something? There's a lot of other people of other different races and ethnic groups and that have been killed by cops too.
Well, there is. This is not a race thing, okay? It's never been a race thing. Never. Matter of fact, there was a black guy who come up on, I watched a video fucking, what was it, like 3 days ago? Man, this guy did an ass-kicking job. And he put it in people's face. He himself said, why are we yelling Black Lives Matter? Why aren't we yelling All Lives Matter? And then
That's the way
and then he went further. He showed a video of a white guy held down by cops in 2016 who died in the very same fashion that they're showing Mr. Floyd. Okay?
Right.
So he says, why didn't we have a worldwide demonstration for this?
Of course. Of course not. Because we are, well, my opinion, obviously blacks are minority. So that's why they took it to such extreme. When it happens to a white person, whether it's by a white cop or a black cop, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, their life don't matter. So white
Right.
lives, what you're saying is white lives don't matter. Brown
Right.
lives don't matter. That's right. That's what you're saying. You're saying the only life that matters is black.
Yep, that's true. And, you know, and I agree with what you said before. Well, a lot of people say Black lives matter, white lives, all lives matter.
Yes.
And that's where we need to come back around to. And we've fallen hard from that in the last several years.
We have.
Fallen hard.
Now, Steve Hoka did point out a couple of really good signs that were on the ground right there where that rally was going, where he was at today. And them signs were actually correct because they were talking the same thing. All lives matter. It isn't just one race that matters.
Yep.
I mean, you know what? That could have been me. I had an experience in Philadelphia once where I got pulled over on a red light, and because of the way I was dressed and I had long hair back then, this was back in the 80s, I was thrown in the back of the squad car in handcuffs. And the other cop was saying to the other cop that pulled over next to him, you know, this guy is some kind of faggot or something.
Yeah.
So I've had bad.
Yeah, I hear you there. You know, I really do. Unfortunately, we have people that want to believe stuff based on nothing and they want to throw each other under the bus. We're in a world that everybody thinks everything's a competition and we're supposed to be competing against each other. And then you wonder why there's so much hatred, huh?
Right. Should be competing for compassion and love and respect. That's what we need to compete for, not for
Absolutely.
all this bullshit.
No, it's all about turning different people against each other. You know, you know, it's all about turning people against each other. And like I said, you know, that could happen to a white person because he was not Mr. Mainstream, neurotypical, preppy, yuppie type.
Right.
If you're, not someone who is Mr., preppy type white guy, you're also just as much of a victim as an African American male.
Mm-hmm.
Not everyone's wired to be, this, very mainstream, robotic, preppy type dude or woman. A lot of people are not wired that way.
Right. And see, and that's like me. I'm just a simple person. My my own dad calls me a cheap ass. Literally a cheap ass. Because I won't put cable TV in my house. I don't need cable TV. I don't want stupid box in my well, I watch movies, that I bought DVDs, I'll watch movies just because okay, I'm bored.
But a lot of it is just a sea of total stupidity. Hold on, I'll be right back.
Okay.
Well, it really is. It's a sea of stupidity, but that's what
It
we
is.
live in.
Right. I don't watch TV except when I'm working. The TV's going for customers. And of course, it's the same thing every day. You watch the first Hoda and Jenna or whatever on Channel 4, and then it's whatever. Then it's the news, the new news. Then it's Days of Our Lives. Then it's some 30-minute infomercial. Then it's a Dateline, like those unsolved but solved mysteries, like that murder show. And then it's Tamron Hall, and then it's Ellen DeGeneres, and then it's the 5 o'clock news, and then it's time to close up and go home. Same thing every friggin' day. Then on Wednesdays,
what really angers me is, the fact that I'm sorry about cutting out like this, but
no, go ahead.
But what really angers me is any one of us could have that kind of bad experience with cops.
Yeah, you're right.
I mean, and a lot of us are, could be a regular, good, down to earth person. But like I said, if you don't meet what, is considered, mainstream America, any one of us is at risk.
Right. And, I'll give you a true story. This happened to me. 2012, I want to say, early 2012 or early 2013. I was living in Scribner, Nebraska. That's when I worked at the credit union as a teller, and I was engaged to David. We weren't married quite yet. Well, anyway, I was cruising along home, and I saw him ahead of me. And I'm like, oh, I want to catch up, not thinking, and thought I was only going maybe a couple, 3 miles over the speed limit. No, I was going way over the speed limit, like by 6 miles over. Well, anyway, all of a sudden I see the lights behind me. So I, of course, pull over, turn the engine. I'm weird. I turn the engine off, set the keys on the dashboard, both hands on the wheel, just so they know I'm not trying to pull no bullshit. Well, that cop comes up to me and he just starts screaming at me for speeding. So I just sat there and didn't say a word. Are you going to answer me? I said, sir, I'm not trying to be rude to you, but you're being a jerk. Until you can talk to me calmly like a human being, I'll answer every question you want me to answer. You know what? Again, the cop backed off. Just like the Menards guy I was telling Bill earlier.
Yeah.
Treat me with respect. I am more than happy to answer any question you have. When he realized I wasn't going to put up with his crap, he had no right to talk to me like that. Yes, I deserved getting pulled over for speeding. Yes, I was speeding. I admit that. Don't treat me like I'm some hardened criminal just because I was speeding. Come up to the door. Hey, you were speeding. We need to kind of talk about that, or whatever they should say. I'm not a cop, so I don't know. But don't come up all pissed off and being a total asshole to me. Just come up calmly. I wasn't going to take off. I wasn't going to pack him full of lies or no bullshit. And so, but I told him, I said, when you can talk to me calmly, I'm more than happy to talk back with you. Then he just kind of looked at me like, oh, okay, she's not kidding around. So he calmed down. Then we had a nice conversation. I got my ticket. I paid my $120 $2 or whatever my ticket was. I apologized for speeding and I was on my way. So I get what you're saying, Mitchell. We can all be in that situation. Mine wasn't nearly as serious as what we all saw on TV, but it easily probably could have been.
There was another situation I saw on TV in Buffalo, New York, where an elderly man was knocked down by the cops, and he's in critical condition.
Oh.
During the protest. I mean,
I wonder why that's not on TV, though. I mean, I'm just saying.
But it's like the situation could have been any one of us, because, you have some people that they have, the badge, they have, they carry a gun, pepper spray, and there's some people that are on power trips, and there's some people that have extreme bully personalities.
Right.
And unfortunately, they're on the force, and unfortunately, someone who's real manipulative would know how to get through the system, even through like the police academy.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yep.
I mean, even the police academy, you're going to go through a whole battery of different psychological testing and everything else. I mean, so there's a whole battery of things that you're going through, but some people somehow, go through the cracks.
Right.
And, but as far as, they're bullying people or hassling people because they're not, Mr. Mainstream America. I mean, there's a lot of people that have been, abused and even killed by cops where it was not warranted.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good point, Mitchell. I mean, police brutality is across the board. I realize proportionally there's more against blacks, but police, when they want to kick your ass, they don't care.
I mean, Steve?
Yeah.
I was telling you about experiences with the tie-dye T-shirt and stuff.
Yeah.
But you remember I was telling you
about
which,
I'm wearing it in my picture. I'm wearing a tie-dye.
I'm wearing one too right now.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, it's like in Philadelphia, in certain areas, I've gotten hassled. Being different. Because I sometimes have a bandana on. Yeah. So yeah, I've been hassled. It's not fun. It's almost
they think you're the kind of guy that smokes a marijuana or smokes a joint on the coast of the Delaware River, right?
Yep. Pretty much. We used to do that all the time when we were kids.
Yeah, I mean, you seem like a pretty cool guy, I know you had a lot of fun in your native town of Philadelphia, but you're traveling the world now, or you're traveling the states, and so if things eased up with the riots going on, I think the COVID thing's pretty much passé, right?
Actually, believe it or not, we're still pretty strict in Oregon about restrictions right now.
Yeah.
You would love our governor. Her name is Kate Brown. She is the extreme feminist that you would love to have as control.
Yeah, I bet you she would lay you if you were to be willing to conform to her feminist ways, but you'd have to degrade yourself to the lowest level.
Unfortunately, it's not.
Yeah, I mean, these guys. I mean, if to get a girlfriend today, you have to be a social justice warrior. You have to be. You cannot be a strong stallion of a male anymore.
Actually, believe it or not, you can't really be anything except what they want you to be.
Oh yeah, it's pretty bad.
No, and I think I really don't know. I just think that it's really hard on anybody. It's just. But I just figured this governor, I mean, she would be the picture perfect poster girl for being, a TFL troll.
Yeah, TFL troll. Yeah, we had one of them on here not long ago called Minnie Rodriguez.
Right, but you would I mean,
God, that name.
Oh, I'm
I always
sorry. I didn't mean to offend you with a name.
Okay. It's just like, oh, I was hoping I didn't have to hear that name ever again.
I always pictured like your TFL troll woman, right? To be some chick with the cat eye glasses
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
I don't.
retro.
I don't try to put a face to name a female trolls. That was the only one I could think of recently that was trolling the manosphere.
Yeah. We'll just say she was lots of fun for about a
Yep.
minute.
Well, of course, she did have one guy that idolized her. That guy's name was SBO.
Right. Right.
Go figure.
But it's like Portland, Oregon. I mean, that's a trip. I mean, it's
Uh,
not that bad. Steve. And I know when I mentioned Steve, it doesn't seem that bad. I mean, they don't seem that bad here.
yeah, I don't know if
And,
Steve's by his PC or not.
Yeah, I don't know either.
but it doesn't seem that bad. Um,
Well,
I think.
I've been
I'm
out of
I
the
here.
think.
I'll listen.
oh, go ahead. I've been out of the dating scene for a while, and and this thing with Heather, and I don't plan on going back on the dating scene again. There's no point of that.
Bill, there is no scene anymore. It's done. It's over.
Yeah, well, that part I totally agree with you with. You're not gonna fix what's broke. It's too
Well,
late.
I'll tell you a little story. I worked at security in Salem Harbor. I grew up there as a kid, and I remember at the clubhouse. I'm reiterating on this one. Back in the late '70s and early '80s, they had all kinds of single nights there. Like they had get-together singles nights. People going hay rides. People would do things. It was like for singles. Certain nights, and now all you have there is just a bunch of real old nerdy people playing bingo. Real super old nerdy people playing bingo, and they don't have like singles nights there anymore. Used to get together, people would go on hay rides and things like that, have bonfires, had that. And then this was back in the 70s, like late '70s, early '80s, even through the '70s. They always had that. And so I think a lot of it's dead. I think a lot of that's proof that the whole scene is pretty much dead.
Well, the dating scene's been completely pulverized, okay? And it ain't gonna come back. There's no way it
No.
could come back. Nobody knows what they're doing. They all claim they know what they're doing, but they don't. Okay? And unfortunately, unless you get your shit straight, you wouldn't. And in today's society, with NWO coming in and it being so blatantly in people's face and they're not able to see it, well, dating scene is. I mean, already been pulverized, but you can just count on this. Once they get their wants in order, you won't be appropriating to make kids no more. That won't happen. That'll be against the law now.
Bill, what I said to you is spot on. The New World Order's ultimate goal is to have sexless relationships. Sexuality has been on the decline for a very long time, and I think ultimately they are trying to create a sexless society, a less intimate society.
That's
And
exactly what they're doing.
and I mean that's the fact, Jack. I mean that is kind of where we already are, and I think that they're succeeding because most men have already pretty much given up. So there's our sexless society.
Yeah, well, that's where it's headed. It'll be actually illegal to have sex because, well, not
Yeah.
so much the sex act as it is the first time you get her pregnant, you're gonna go to jail. So she.
Well, Bill, I look at it. I look at it from this perspective. They had to use pornography, which is hypersexualize us, in order to desexualize us. It sounds like a contradiction, but it was all structured that getting people hypersexed would ultimately desexualize us, because women could then claim to be, well, you're objectifying us. And these porn stars, they don't what's going on in porn does not represent what's really going on in the world. It's somebody artificially engineering a scenario that doesn't even exist. Like these scenarios of women going down on 10 different guys at one time. That shit just doesn't happen in regular life, but in a porn, oh, it's like every day, It's just, there is no sexual liberation. The only real happy life is to have one good partner and be married to them,
That's exactly right, Steve. Steve's right on.
And all this stuff, Bill, I've always asked myself this question, though. Where do they find these beautiful girls that are willing to do this shit is beyond me, Bill. Like, you could look at any pretty girl that you would see at a shopping mall and think, that girl could be, slobbing it up on a porn site. I mean, it's hard to believe there's women out there that are that brain dead. I wonder if they got them hooked on drugs or something.
Sometimes I wonder about that, because with the sexual diseases that go around, and then the way people get up on this porn and do this crap, you have to wonder if they're not on some kind of drug to begin with. Because to me, I mean, why would you put yourself in that situation? Well, I'm getting all kinds of sex. Yeah, and you're going to get yourself a nice little surprise to go with it, too, and you ain't going to like the surprise.
And Rollo Tomasi still keeps preaching the stupid BS that women have a sexual strategy. They don't have a sexual strategy. More than likely, they're not interested in you at all.
Well, that's their sexual strategy, Steve. Let's do nothing. We're not even interested.
That's about it. I mean, it's like I don't see women having a quote sex. Well, women are trying to sexually hypergamize. I don't think so at all. I think that they're very content being in sexless lives, because I know what you said about women do like sex more than men, or as much as men, but I would say it's less and less nowadays, because that rule that you were talking about applied years ago, and I don't see any intimacy at all today. And I could be wrong. There are these poor fringe groups that you'll see, like a poor hillbilly chick with a pregnant, she'll have 3 or 4 really attractive kids that are young, but I just it's an anomaly. Pregnant women are almost becoming invisible now. I don't see them very often.
Well, that part what you're saying there, I used to see when I was young. I seen pregnant women all the time. Now pay attention, look around you. You hardly ever see a pregnant woman. Not that there isn't women getting pregnant, but it's not like it used to be.
Right.
I wish you could get the real numbers on the actual births that's being born. I'll bet you'd find them numbers are real low.
Really low. I do know I am going to be an aunt again in November. But, it's just crazy, because my brother and his wife have nine children. 2 of the children are married. Obviously, they're adults. One, the eldest child, him and his wife have 4 children, and they're done. And then the second one that got married, they're expecting their first. In November.
Gina, you almost have to be hillbilly white trash to have a lot of kids. Women, like, I see these old. I go to like the Dollar General store, and there's like a trailer park by there, and they're like, "Oh yeah, my little grandbaby. Oh, my little grandbaby. I'm having another grandbaby." But that's fine among some subcultures. But in mainstream city slicker society, I'm not talking about people that live in trailers or people that live out in the country. In everyday city slicker society, the birth rate is almost non-existent. And I'm not kidding you. It really is. It is like, I mean, like, I remember going to places like Dairy Queen in the early mid '80s and seeing nothing but a line of pregnant women getting ice cream. I don't see all these, 50 pregnant women in line getting ice cream, and that was just the norm. So it's kind of like you have to be, if a guy wants to end his TFL drought, he better wish that he's part of some subgroup of the culture that's maybe off. You really can't wish yourself success in the dating scene. I mean, it's either you're part of a subculture or you're not,
Yeah.
Right. You gotta, I guess I should have also said, my sister-in-law, who married my brother that have the 9 children, her life calling was to be a mom. And so technically they should have had 10 children. She did have a miscarriage somewhere in there. And every single one of those kids has made a life for themselves. They all work. They also, the dad owns his own company. So
I mean, that's amazing. Yeah.
Right. And of course, the Catholicism, as many children, she kind of believed in her Catholic religion, where you have as many children as you can afford.
Right. And it's not about it's not about the sex. It's about just procreating and doing the right thing. But I mean, it's just bizarre to think that we live in a society that has literally turned. It is so evil. Even George Orwell's 1984 said it would be a sexless society. That was his prediction in the book in 1949 when he wrote the book. He said the future would be a sexless society. No intimacy at all. I mean, it would be very, and there's a scene in the book where he meets up with this girl. Now, he's married in the book. He's in a sexless marriage. And his wife is like a materialistic ditz brain, and he hooks up with some woman who's one of the rebels, underground rebels, and like she's really attracted to him, and it's like it's a shock to him because like he's got an intimate feeling for her, and that just does not fly today. I mean, it's just I'd say most of these people that live in these box cookie cutter Ryan home developments, I don't think they have very, very strong sex lives at all. I think they're just going through the motions,
That you probably very well right. Very well.
I would say that they probably have a couple kids because it's what they're expected to do, but they're not out there saying, "Okay, honey, we had a great day today. Let's make love." I don't think that's going on in those houses.
Right. And I'll be the first one to be very, very, very honest. I couldn't have any more kids by the time I had met and fell in love with and married David. But I tell you what, we had a very good relationship in every way, shape, and form.
Right, that's good. And there was no using sex to control him,
Nope. I don't play that game. Nope.
Yeah, I mean, if you're not in the mood, you're not in the mood. You tell them I got a headache, but if you're in the mood, you don't sit there and use it as control over them.
Right. And the women that pull that shit, I want to strangle them.
Yeah.
I really do.
Sometimes I might not be in the mood either when it comes to that.
Sure.
I mean, there's times I'm not in the mood. There's times that maybe I'm tired, maybe I'm stressed out, maybe I have, a lot of things on my mind. So there's times that I'm not going to be that sexual either.
Right.
Yeah, I think that was a common thing when I was growing up, is that if it was a sexless marriage, there's a good chance the guy didn't want it either. So, at least it was an even keel. But now it's all one-sided. I don't know what people are, like Bill says, people don't know what they're doing, and so maybe they don't know what they're doing. They're just. But I mean, this new world order, these people they've been very patient. They're getting their way. They probably have another plan up their sleeve. It's going to be either a nuclear strike via Israel or somewhere. It's going to be it's going to be an international. I mean, this is what it's all about. The New World Order is about bringing America down first, and then the rest is it's going to be like a deck of cards.
Yeah, well, it is. The United States is the targeted country, and it is just what Steve said. It'll have a domino effect once it happens.
Yeah, because we're the last nation that has the right to bear arms. And you know what? I've talked to a lot of these people that live in these rural areas. I don't think they're going to have an easy time. They're planning. They're planning. I mean, they're not stupid. So inevitably, they're going to get their way, but they're going to have a fight on their hands. And who knows? Maybe there will be a wild card and we'll succeed at beating this thing. I'm biblical, so I believe that the Bible says that we won't be able to buy, sell, heed the mark of the beast. And I do think that there's truth to that. I mean, it seems like they're going to get their way, but they may not. Maybe the Bible's not, 100% interpreted the correct way because, but I kind of feel like we're heading toward that cashless society control grid.
Yes, I agree. This is why, I'm kind of glad I only make the little bit of money that I do. Like I said, I am a cheapskate.
Good, that's all right. You can,
to really, you want to hear cheapskate? I'll tell you, cheapskate. The food that goes in my house, the food that I buy for my house is the stuff because I have coffee every day. So my coffee stuff. I have my own 2 dogs, and then I'm watching my daughter's dog until she gets her life straightened around. So I have 3 dogs, so I have to buy dog food. That's the food that goes in my house.
Yeah.
I eat once a day.
Well,
one time a day.
If you be my girlfriend, I'll feed you 3 times a day.
I don't need to gain any more weight. I'm chunky enough. But to be serious, my dad's called me a cheapskater, cheap ass. I won't put cable TV in my house. I won't get DirecTV. I won't get Dish. I won't get.
No, you're smart. You're practical.
I don't want any of that.
You're practical.
I'm very practical.
Because you don't need that crap. You don't need it.
Right.
And I'm sure if you had more money, you'd be generous, but you don't need it. And it's not.
Nope.
It's not. Your priorities are more like a man's. You know what? Your priorities are very similar to that of a single man living by himself. If you don't need it, why buy it? But most women don't see it that way. Even my sister, my late sister, I loved her, but she bought so much crap, and it's like there's no way she could save money because she was always spending it.
Yeah. Like today, I had to buy my coffee stuff, and I had to buy my one dog. She's like me. She's hypothyroid, so she has to be on a thyroid pill. And the only way that she'll take it is through some little bite of string cheese. I put a hole in it with the tip of a knife and put her little pill in there, and she eats her pill. But anyway, so I bought my coffee stuff. I bought dog food. I bought string cheese. And of course, my essentials like deodorant, things like that. Some more toilet paper, $154. And I'm like, what the F is this? Holy shit, for dog food and coffee. Are you kidding me right now? This is bullcrap. I'm going to protest. God, I couldn't believe it. I see the bill. Like,
it's really, but getting back to the whole intimacy thing, it's like I haven't had, I don't think I've had a woman in an organic sense show interest in me in 8 to 10 years. I mean, like I used to get, I know age is part of it, but I don't think it's 100%. I think that there's something that these social engineers have done that they have totally just gotten rid of the intimacy, the wanting to be close to people, the distrust. And I forced myself out of this. I get some neighbors now I talk to quite regularly, so they don't distrust me. But if you're just some strange dude moving to a new neighborhood, you're not trusted. And it's like, we got to break that cycle. We got to get to know our neighbors.
Mm-hmm. And when I lived in that little town, I lived right next door. My side yard met the backyard. It was a small town. Back to what one of the guys in chats mentioned, small town cops you didn't have a good time with. Well, my side yard met the backyard of the main town cop, aka chief of police. He was the greatest dude ever. I really love that guy. Him and his wife are the sweetest people you could ever meet. So I got lucky. They're great people. But I moved simply because I didn't want to get to know my neighbors. Not because I was trying to be a bitch, but because that was right after my husband died. And it was like, I just want to stay in my house. I want to be a hermit. I'm going to be a hermit. Go to work, go home. Go to work, go home. Take care of my dogs. That was it. It was me and my dogs. That's all I cared about. And after David died, I tried my hardest to make that house my home, and I couldn't. My home is where I moved back to, where I am now. Where
Gina, are all your kids from the same father?
No. One of my children is from one guy. The other three are from another guy.
Okay, so they're from. Oh, but
Two
your
different
husband.
dads.
How many kids did you have with your husband?
My first husband, I had one child with. My second husband, I had four.
Oh, okay. So you got five kids?
But five, but my first one passed away because the first husband that I had the first child with beat the living crap out of me throughout the whole pregnancy and caused the death of the baby.
Oh my God. What an awful.
Yes. That's why I divorced him. So that divorce was legitimate. I mean, for real.
That is a legitimate one.
The second divorce, I won't lie, I have nothing to hide. The second divorce, he didn't put his hands on me, but he did put his hands on our children, and he didn't work. So between the two, I'm like, if you're not going to help support the children, I didn't lay in that bed by myself and make those babies. And he would bite his children. He would bite our kids.
Where are you from?
Bye.
Are you from Iowa?
Yes, I live in Iowa.
Okay.
Born and raised.
Born and raised. You sound like a good old country girl. I mean, you look like a.
But you know what? You know what? This is the funny thing, Steve. Steve or Mitchell. Your guys' voices are so.
Yeah.
Thank you.
They're very high. Yeah, they're very.
They're pretty close. But I was born and raised in Iowa, and literally I was born in Iowa City, right there, just off of the University of Iowa Hawkeye football field hospital. But guess what? I'm a rebel. I'm a Nebraska Cornhuskers fan.
I remember.
But I still love the Iowa Hawkeyes. My husband's his cousin is the dad to the twin boys that play for the Iowa Hawkeyes, Landon and Levi. So you gotta be a Hawkeye fan. I have to be a Hawkeye fan too. And I'm a realist. When the Nebraska Huskers suck, I'm like, yeah, we sucked at playing, but you know what? Good game. That's just who I am. You know what? I root for my team. When we lose, we lose. When we win, great. When Iowa wins, great. When they lose, God darn it, better luck next time. I try to be positive both ways. So, but
that's good. So that you kind of your parents owned a business or something?
Yes, my dad started busting tires in this little rinky-dink shop, and then he turned it into a pretty nice company, which now my brothers have taken over and own. He's retired, and my brothers own it, and they're keeping it going. And I'm really proud of them.
Is it profitable?
Yes, very.
Oh my God. So then you guys have a pre-existing business that they inherited.
Yep, they did. Yep. And my dad's like, you don't want part of it? And I'm like, nope, I'm a simple chick.
So how does that work? Do they all split the profits? Is it an incorporation where they just pay themselves a salary, or how's it work?
Right. It's incorporated.
So then
actually, now that you say that, it's two names. There's one name there's two names to the company.
Wow.
And so my older brother owns the one company all by himself. It's bought and paid for.
Wow.
My little brother, he owns his fair share of it, and he's the CEO. He's basically the owner CEO of the two locations that he's in.
So this is like these guys. Are your brothers living in real nice homes?
Yes,
they are.
They're not hoity-toity like, like up here not too far from me, there's a place called Dakota Dunes, South Dakota, where the houses are $1 million houses or $850,000 houses. No, nothing like that. My little brother has a really darling house. I think he probably paid maybe $2.25 for it, $225,000, average, I suppose, today. He's living in that house, not too far from me. He's probably 10 minutes south of me. My older brother, he lives on a boulevard that's got a lot of la-ti-da houses, but theirs is one of those that isn't the la-ti-da.
Wait, but you, in your situation, you're struggling financially. Am I correct?
Yes, I have a
Why?
budget.
Why is that? Why would your family not include you in part of the financial end of that? I mean, that seems like that's just a natural thing if you were willing to work for them, right?
Right. I used to work for my dad. I used to help do like the billing. I was in accounts receivable. My mom did accounts payable. And then when I moved out of the area, that was about the time, a few years later, my mom and dad retired. Well, since I lived down by Fremont, Nebraska, which is about an hour and a half from Sioux City, they retired. They just figured I didn't want to have any part of the company. So they didn't include me in their plan. And I was okay with that. Believe it or not, I was okay with that.
Oh, excuse me. I got to run, and I will talk to you next weekend.
Okay, Mitchell.
Okay, Mitchell.
Listen, you all have a good weekend.
Yes, you too.
Mitchell, have a good day. Bye-bye.
You too. Bye, everyone. Bye, Bill. Bye, Steve.
Bye-bye, Mitchell.
But I was okay with the fact that I wasn't included in the business side of it because I don't want to be in the business side of it. So
you are a rebel. You rebel, you.
I really am a rebel. I have literally in my bedroom hanging on the wall is this year calendar every month, and it's the large grid you can get at Walmart for like $5. Again, cheapskate, cheap ass.
Yeah,
and
but I mean, you're a
know,
unique person. If your family started a successful business and your brothers have it, you'd think that you'd want a piece of the pie, but you're kind of doing your own thing.
I'm doing my own thing. I work hard for my paycheck. I make sure my bills are paid every week. They're broken down weekly. And I live in a double wide trailer home. It doesn't mean I'm trailer trash, but this is my home.
It is your home. Yeah, that's good. Are you guys on sewers or septic, or how you guys like in a residential?
Nope, we are on septic. We do not get a water bill. We're off of a well.
Yeah, that's a nice thing to be on that because they're forcing everybody. This is the war that I fought. I think Bill already told you was I ran for mayor to try to fight this sewer thing that was destructive as hell to the city. It wasn't even necessary, and they're forcing us off our septic systems that work friggin' fine. Half the people upgraded theirs. It was just so insane. They work good. I mean, as long as you put the stuff down there and you have a good leach bed, they work very well. They actually replenish the water in the aquifer. They actually keep the water circulating.
Right. And the really cool thing, the really cool thing living where I do now, David and I, when we left the Fremont, Nebraska area, the day we got married on a Friday, and then we moved up to where I live now, literally now.
Yeah, this is the guy that you're divorced from?
No, this is my husband that passed away.
Oh, okay.
We moved into this house that I'm in now.
Yeah.
When we first got married. Literally the day after we got married, we moved up here to be closer to our parents. His parents lived with, his mom and dad were divorced. His mom lived in the same city. His dad lived, maybe 20 miles outside of the city. And my parents lived at the time about 6 minutes north of where we lived, which is where I live now. And we knew our parents weren't getting any younger. We wanted to be closer to them. Physically, geographically. And so we did. And then before I knew it, David got sick. Then he got healthy. Then he got sick again. And then he passed away. And,
wow.
And at that time, we were living in that small town. And I tried really hard to make it home. I put a bunch of money into that house. And I was just like, if my old house opens back up for rent again, even though I own the house out in the small town, I want my house back. That's my home. And so my dad's like, okay, I'll make it happen. And the guy that was living here couldn't pay his rent. So my dad booted him and I moved in. And I am absolutely finally at peace. This is my home. And it's a little, like the cupboards are just a little bit beat up. They could be replaced, some of them, but you'd have to replace them all so they don't match. But you know what? I don't care. I don't care. It's bigger than my actual house, but I feel so much more safer here. I'm 30 paces of a walk to where my dad lives now because he sold him and mom's house that was about 5-6 minutes north of here, and had an apartment built in his man cave. And so now I'm really close to my dad, physically, geographically. So if he needs
Yeah,
something,
I
all I
seen
have to do
that.
is walk across the way.
Yeah,
That's all yeah, you did, Bill.
yes,
I showed you.
you
I mean,
showed me your
I'm right
property.
here.
You're
Yep.
like out of town, so you're not right in town, and
Right.
your
Right.
dad's right next to you. You got a
Yep.
nice big ass. You got a lot of land there.
Yep. There's a ton of land here. And I mean, I've got the traffic noise of the 4 lane, even though they're doing some construction for about 5 miles in front, out front of me, about a mile and a half one way, 2 miles, and the rest north. But I absolutely love it here. I absolutely am so glad I'm back home. To me, this is home. And I just live paycheck to paycheck. I have my bills written out every week. I pay a bill every week. Sometimes it's 5 bills in one week. Sometimes it's one bill. Sometimes it's four. It just depends on the budget. And my bills get paid. I'm never late on anything. And my dad just can't understand that. Why don't you want to do this? Why don't you want to do that? I'm not you, Dad. I love you, but I'm not you.
So
I'm not my brothers.
your parents are still married?
My parents are still married. My dad lives alone. My mother has dementia really bad, so she's in assisted living.
You have the same concerns I have. These New World Order people, they're gonna want to put these people out to pasture, and that's not good.
Me and Bill talked about that, didn't we, Bill?
Yes, we did.
Yeah, well,
yeah.
Yeah, that's why I visit my mom like 4 or 5 times a week, because I call it the double cheeseburger test. She can scarf down a double cheeseburger, no problem. I mean, and there was some talk about them wanting to get her on a different diet, and they were trying to do something. I don't want to get into it on this whole thing, but
sure.
Which I'll tell you guys but they were trying to get me to do something that I knew was unethical as far as her health. And I says, no, she's fine the way she is, and she eats everything fine, and they're feeding her fine. But it was just, there's a lot of more money to be made if they do certain things, and I don't like that.
Yes. And
Right,
Steve,
right.
the nice thing that I seen for Steve was the fact that even with the lockdown, he was still able to go see his mother, unlike Jana.
Right.
Yeah.
I have to look through a frickin' window.
No, I would if it gets to that point, what I would do is I would hire someone to go within the nursing home, 50 to 70, $50 a week to do the basic things. But I agree with that. They have to they are depends on the status of the patient too.
Right. Yep. My mom has dementia really bad.
Yeah.
And so we do get to see her.
That's a horribly
window.
cruel thing to do. Make you watch the person through a window. That is morbid as hell.
It's terrible. It really is, because I'm used to giving her hugs and kisses and running my fingers through, and she has the softest hair in the world. I can't do that. I can't do that. And I, and I would sit there and I'm like, Mom, they're going to go, make some donuts. Let's go help make some donuts. You like donuts. You like sweets. Come on. I'll help you. Come on,
and you love your mom, and I know exactly, because you have a heart of gold to do that, because that takes a lot of effort to go out of your way to do that.
It does. This is why I got a lot of respect for Steve. Okay, in today's society, so many people will put their parents in a nursing home and walk away and never go visit them.
Oh no. Yeah, I know.
And they don't understand that in the end of the people act as if like you got to use this. I've spent my whole life taking care of this. You know what? Life is an experience. It's not something that you have to look at. Oh, I didn't get to travel to Egypt and see all the pyramids and all this shit. Okay, maybe somewhere along the line when you're 70, you might do it and you still enjoy it. You can't sit there. It's not like you're going on some sexcapade where you're traveling Europe and screwing everything, and you got to do it now. If mom's in a nursing home, you don't have a chance. You got to do it now,
Right. Yep, I know. I go visit my mom when I can through the window. And she gets chilled really easily, so we can't stay but maybe 10 minutes. Even in the sweltering heat, she gets cold.
Yep, typical. That's normal.
She has no clue
Yeah.
who I am. I think me and my dad have figured out that she thinks I'm dad's girlfriend. She actually calls me her sister Judy, so they tell you have to go along with it. And her sister Judy passed away in 2013.
Yeah.
But I'm just so whenever she's like Judy, I just answer her, which is really hard for me. And there's been times I've walked out, with a smile on my face, but I get in the car and I bawl all the way home. I just cry. I don't like seeing my mom like in the condition she's in, especially as I told Bill, the last week and a half.
Yep. You done your video you posted up. You can talk about that if you like.
She's not getting the care she needs now that the COVID thing has happened and all the aides are masked and gloved and this and that, and she ended up with a really high white cell count, which in turn, she ended up, which they thought was either a seizure or a stroke. So they rushed her to the emergency room by ambulance. Come to find out she didn't have a stroke, she had a seizure because her white cell count was off the chart, which in turn proved she had a horrific urinary tract infection, which means they're neglecting her because she doesn't have any control over her bowels or her, going potty. So she has to wear adult briefs. I don't like to call them diapers because she's not a baby.
Yeah.
Anyway, so she has this bad UTI. She stayed in the hospital for about 4 days on medication to get rid of the UTI. Great, awesome. At least there, hopefully she's getting a little bit better care. Well, also at the same time, 2 days prior, my dad goes, "What is my wife's weight? I want to know because she looks like she's lost weight." Well, they quote unquote weighed her in at 133 at the nursing home. Well, assisted living for dementia patients. Right. 133 pounds.
That's actually not, that's not light. I mean, that's not fat, but that's not like she's anorexic.
Right. But 2 days later, when she ended up with the EMTs at the hospital, she weighed 120. Hello, 13-pound discrepancy here. I'd like to know what kind of fucking diet pill she's on. Excuse my French.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just saying. That's me being a smart ass.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad Gina, you're very involved with your mom, but I want to see you be able to physically be in touch with her. I can't see how horrible that's got to be for you.
Right. So then find all this out. So the home is lying to us. My dad has medical power of attorney over her, along with durable power of attorney, as well as regular lawyer power of attorney. All this, he has every right to know when she sneezes wrong, let alone everything else. So they're lying to him. They're lying to us. And dad sometimes gets me involved because he knows I can be a bitch when it comes to her. Because I'm not a nurse, I'm not a doctor, but common sense. I've been a CNA. I've been in and out of the medical field for most of my life. I used to work for a doctor, so I know what I'm talking about with some stuff. So anyway, she gets home, back to the home from the hospital. Then they take her to the bathroom. 2 CNAs do. And my mom, she's always been one of those kind of private ladies, I understand, but she can't stand up on her own. She needs someone to help her. She has no coordination anymore.
Right. That sounds like my mom is paralyzed on half of her body. Her whole left side is paralyzed.
Okay, so then you know where my mom
yes,
isn't.
Exactly.
But you know what I'm saying.
Yes.
So they
your
put
mom
her on
basically,
the toilet.
Your mom needs round-the-clock care. She can't even come close to doing anything, including going to the bathroom.
Right. So they put her on the toilet. Okay, she wants her privacy. So instead of just slightly turning a quarter turn, but keeping your eye on her and just playing this, sometimes with dementia or Alzheimer's, you got to play a little bit of a game. All right, Karen, you can do your thing. I'm not looking, but you go ahead and use the restroom, which is what I would do. But my eye is still watching every move she's making, and she kind of, can't tell. No, they left, the restroom completely. She somehow, quote unquote, falls off the toilet, cracks her head and her eye on something. Now she has a knot on her head and a huge black and blue eye.
Yeah, that is bad, bad, bad. That is not good.
No. So Monday,
your mom is basically dead
when
she falls. When she falls, she's like dead weight. That's exactly. My mom did that one time at the nurse when she was kind of going through this on Medicare. She was at the nursing home. This is before she was officially let in the nursing home permanently. But she fell one time, and I said she like was complete dead weight falling. I mean, it's like
yes.
So you cannot allow it. And I used to always try to baby proof areas of the house because you don't want to have like furniture with sharp edges because that's a death sentence right there. So yeah, but you're absolutely right. They let her fall and she fell dead weight right on her head.
Yeah. So I'm sitting here wondering because I got a picture on my phone of her face. It's bruised all around her eye and purple and black. Then you go towards the knot in the head and that's green. So I'm sitting here thinking, wait a minute. Those are two separate injuries. The more I look at it, when it turns green, yellow, that's a healing bruise. When it's black and blue, purple, that's a new bruise. So that's two injuries. So they're lying to my dad again. I'm not stupid. So I'm just, Monday morning, I'm making a phone call to the proper authorities in the state of Iowa, DHHS, for neglect and abuse of elderly. I'm turning them in. I'm done with the lies. You know what? And there's only one or two people there that I trust, which is the activities director, who it's not even her job to make sure these residents go to the restroom, but she'll walk up to my mother and she'll be like, "Hey, hun, let's try to go."
How do you prove that they abused her?
I can't prove it, but you've got a healing bruise. Maybe not abuse, but it is neglect. There's something that they're not telling us, because when you get a bruise, it's when you first get it, it's, first it might be a little red, then it turns black and blue. Okay, that's a fresh bruise. As it heals and the blood starts to go back into your system, it turns that green, yellow color. Well, the knot on her head is that green, yellow color, but her eye is black and blue and purple. That's two different injuries. Totally two different injuries. So there's something going on that they're once again lying to my dad. They lied about her weight. They lie about how well she eats. How do you go from 133 pounds on, say, Friday, and then on Monday when you go to the hospital, you're at 120? Sorry, you're lying. You are lying. So this is my mom. They're playing a game with my mother's health. I ain't having it. And get this. I don't know if I told Bill this, but when they took her to the hospital, this I find a little interesting. They tested her for COVID-19. Okay, fine, whatever. She's negative. How did they get the test back the same day? I go get tested. Just say I were to go get tested. I'm not getting tested because I know I don't have it. It takes me a week to get the results back, but they can get it back within hours.
Sounds peculiar, doesn't it?
Yeah. But if she were to have died that day, knock on wood, yesterday, we'll say, they would have ruled it as COVID-19.
Yeah.
Of course they would, so they can make their little profit. And then you would have seen a real bitch come out, because I would have fought and hired a lawyer. I'd have sold everything I own, which ain't much, to get a lawyer to get the death certificate correct, because I know she didn't die of COVID-19. That's just me with my mom. Well, my mother means everything to me. And I'm going to go see her tomorrow through the effing window that's filthy, scummy, dirty, that you have to put your hands up to see her because it's so dirty, because God forbid they clean a window there.
God. So they're not cleaning the window, but yet they want you to look through a window, huh? So where's their housekeeping on retirement?
Me? Are you talking to me?
No, I'm talking about the nursing home. Where's their housekeeping?
Good question. They had this sweetest little Hispanic gal. I can't think of her name. Oh my gosh, Rosa. She was the cutest little thing ever, just tiny as a peanut. She quit. She retired. I mean, she was of retirement age, so she quit. That's fine. I don't think they have a cleaning lady. And then you go to the dining area and you lean on the dining like this.
How do you have a nursing home with no housekeeping?
Exactly. And half the time, that's another thing we noticed is 90% of the CNAs, they're on their personal cell phone, just texting away and Facebooking. They're in the medication room, da 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 da. And you've got somebody over here that's fallen. You got someone over here that's holding themselves because they got to pee really bad. And you got someone else banging on a door to get into some other resident's apartment, they call them. And I'm just like, hello, so-and-so needs to go to the bathroom. So-and-so over here just wet everywhere through their clothes, through their brief, as well as the couch cushion. That needs to be cleaned up. Oh, and by the way, so-and-so is thirsty. They only get 3 options, 3 times a day, an option to drink: breakfast, lunch, and supper. They're supposed to be doing 3 snacks a day. They're not doing that either.
Well, that's not good. I mean, I myself, if that was my mother, I would probably take her out of the nursing home and put her somewhere else.
Oh, yes. My dad was going to, but guess what happened? This was all before all this happened. All the UTI and the basically breaking of her face. COVID-19 happened. And they're like, nope, can't let her out. He talked to this other place, Sunrise or whatever. Well, we're not taking new patients due to COVID. Boom, just at the perfect timing.
Oh, go figure.
Go figure.
Yeah, go figure.
Then when she got back to the home from the hospital, COVID-19 negative, everything negative other than a UTI, back again feeling better other than the UTI, well hydrated. They still quarantined her for 5 days in her room.
That's crock of crap.
That's a crock of shit.
You know what they're doing is really testing to see how far they can push people and have people will still listen.
Right. And oh my God, you know what? It costs a month to have her there? Right around $6,000 a month.
Well, the sad thing I think is during round 2 of what's coming back that ain't being talked about, the invisible bug. Okay.
Yep.
It's going to turn into real bugs and it's going to kill a lot of people from young to old.
Right.
And I personally think they have plans of, doing away with the people in nursing homes.
Yeah. And my mom's going to be one of them. My mother's going to be one of them. And nobody wants to lose their mom. Nobody wants to lose their dad.
No, I understand that, but we have psychopaths running the world who actually think they're gods, who actually think they have the right to pick who lives and who dies. Even the governor of Colorado was saying, sometimes we have to pick who gets to live and who gets to die.
Oh, yeah, just nonchalant. That's great.
Yeah, he just nonchalantly says it. Like there's nothing wrong with it, and that was the Colorado governor. And I think to myself, you're right, then maybe you should die. Because sometimes those people
you do it first, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. All these Bill Gates, he wants to do all this COVID-19 vaccination. That's the death vaccination. You get the COVID-19 vaccination first, dude.
You're damn right. If you want to use some frequencies after you got the shot to kill people, we'll turn them up for you, okay?
Right. And there's like this 5G cell tower bullshit. No thanks, I'll pass on the death phone.
Yeah.
No, it's just every way they can possibly think of to down the population.
That's what it is.
Here's the thing. I am not falling for any of it. I'm not wearing a mask. I had no choice at one time at Menards. But other than that, now, so my female boxer, she had a bad skin tag that kept bleeding. I had it removed. They very nicely said, they said, if you have a mask, could you please wear it to bring her in? We'll make it as quick as possible. So you only have to wear the mask for maybe a total of 5 minutes. Bring her in. We'll sign her in for surgery. You can go take your mask off. They were nice about it. I had no problem wearing the mask in. Same with when I picked her up same day same day of surgery. Just really quick. That's cool.
I don't even got a mask, okay? And I don't plan on getting one either. And
don't go to Menards.
If the clinic up here, well, we don't have Menards here, but if I did, I'd turn around and walk right back out. I wouldn't care. I'd just say your loss, not mine. You know,
exactly.
If the clinic up here says I have to have a mask to go see the doctor on my next appointment, I guess I'll cancel the appointment. Have a nice day.
Right. Yeah, I have a doctor's appointment on Monday. I think it's my final foot surgery checkup, and if I have to wear a mask, I'll just be like, I'm feeling great, thanks.
Hey, Jana.
Yeah.
Do your kids understand the NWO New World Order? They're probably just going about their lives, just living it, right? They don't really know. They don't know.
Actually, believe it or not, my eldest daughter, she will call me and ask me like questions. And so if I don't know the answer, I'll go onto Google and search answers. If I don't know the answer,
the last place you want to search is Google.
Well, no, but you see what I'm saying. I do try to search things out if I personally don't know the answer. But she's been doing some searching herself on this NWO, so I'm really proud of her. My eldest daughter. Now, my next daughter, she's going just through some. We'll just say some. How can I say this? Because it's really no one's business. It's a private matter. She's just going through some situation right now. So she's working on her. Yes, she's working on her.
People will troll you if you,
Right. She's working on her. And you know what? We're just going to leave it at that. And then my two boys, my eldest boy, he's a little afraid of everything that's going on, but you know, he's a man, he's 27 and he's not playing where nothing can hurt me. He's not playing that, but I can tell without him asking me stuff, he's a little afraid for himself. And so I just told him, I said, Michael, I said, if you have any questions, just ask me. If I don't know the answer, I'll find the answer for you and let you know. Okay, Mom. Okay, Mom. Now, my youngest boy, he is developmentally delayed. He's 20, he'll be 20, God, now you're going to make me do math. 25 in October. And he has the mentality of about a 12, 14-year-old. So he has no idea. He has no idea. Great kid, sweetest kid you could ever meet. He'd walk up to you, shake your hand, and give you a hug. I mean, he's a sweetheart. So he really doesn't understand, and I don't want to scare him with trying to talk to him about it. But my eldest, I'm really proud of her. She'll post stuff all over Facebook, you know, about fake news, you know, George Floyd and fake news, you know, da 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 da. And I'm like, exactly. You nailed it.
I'm starting to believe more and more that George Floyd is just an artificial creation of NWO.
Yeah.
Well, you know, the cop that supposedly killed him, the one that actually had the knee on the neck, I saw somewhere where he isn't even a cop. He's not only is he a crisis actor, he's an actor.
The guy looked too skinny to be a cop. His legs were like twigs. He didn't even look like a bruiser cop. He looked like he was frail and thin. That's what freaked me out when I saw that guy. I'm like, that does not look like a normal cop. Most cops are fairly husky and they've got some meat on their bones. This guy looked like he was like overly skinny, like about 140 pounds.
Right, which would be my youngest son. I don't even think he weighs that. I think he's probably like 130 pounds. He's just a twig.
Right, but I'm saying that the cop in that picture didn't look right. I mean, you got to be somewhat strong to be a male cop because you got to wrestle people down. And he, you know, I'm sorry. There's too much going on with this whole thing. And there's like, you think the family would have had like a public viewing for this guy because of this stuff that's happened. It's all private. It's all behind closed doors. There's something like, it seems like these are professional crisis actors. These people could be all actors. They could be every one of them. The mother and the father could be just all actors. It's
I
fake.
believe the entire thing, including the porn thing, and including he worked in some place of security with this so-called cop. I think the entire thing's a written story, a Hollywood act. None of it's true at all.
Right.
It's NWO. It was all part of the plan.
Yeah.
And that's why
I
you've seen them launched all over the world. But go ahead, Steve.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how else you could describe it. I mean, why would the society go ape shit over a guy that supposedly is not a really nice guy? I mean, it's just something doesn't seem right, and these protests are just an excuse. You know, when you go to a protest and all you can do is say we demand justice for 5,000 times or Black Lives Matter, Black Lives Matter, that's not an intellectual debate. That's just a bunch of people just mindlessly parroting what they're expected to do.
Yep, they're parroting what they've been told to say, and that's what they're doing, and they're just repeating. Might as well be a bunch of damn robots.
Yeah. Yeah. Waldo Lewandowski seems to think that most of TFLers should die. He said no. He's saying himself too. I think he said that most TFLers are better off dead.
Well, I can understand his feelings, though. I know why he feels that
Right.
way.
Yeah.
You know, how do you actually blame him? You can't.
Yeah.
You know, they're denied a life like so many men are.
Speaking of which, speaking of denying a life, how's Warren doing? I haven't heard from him lately.
Oh, I've talked to Warren a few times. He calls me at least a couple of times, normally in a couple of weeks. So, when I get on the phone with him, I'll be on there for 2-3 hours. He's doing okay. He's doing okay, but he's trying to keep his mind off of TFL, and he hasn't been paying too much attention to Corona or anything that's going on. And I can understand it. A lot of it comes from the stress of knowing, you know, you live your whole life, you've been rejected your whole life, and you keep exposing and talk about it, and pretty soon it starts eating you alive. Yeah. So he invented himself off of it, and that's why he hasn't done nothing. I did talk to him about possibly coming up on a Saturday and doing something, or even just doing a video with me off, you know, during the week.
I remember Warren used to preach the idea like, yeah, when women really need us, he goes, I'm just going to go da. I thought, no, when women are suffering, men will be dead. They'll be already dead. So
yeah,
the only way women are going to, yeah, that's how it works, Bill. When women are inconvenienced, men are suffering. When women are suffering, men are dead.
Yeah. Unfortunately, in a male-bastion society where men are hated by everything, you know, it's not everybody, but you got to really pay attention. Hollywood, commercials, everything. Feminist movement for years now has drummed it into people's heads. So these little girls who have parents that use the TV set as a babysitter, these little girls are getting the message how men are vile predators and rapists and how they beat their women, and that's what they're being shown and told. So they grow up scared of men. They hate men.
Look at this guy. You gotta see this, Bill. Go to that link and watch this black guy cussing at these cops through a bullhorn.
That don't surprise me, any guy.
It's like it's so juvenile.
There's our behavior right in your face. You see that?
Go. Bill, this is so juvenile. It's so insane.
Nuts.
It's like their demands. It's like, what are you demanding? Like, just get specific, you know?
They're demanding that they're stupid.
Yep.
Jeez, Bill. They're demanding that they're stupid. Really? That was good.
Things like that annoy the fuck out of me because they're so fucking.
Oh, my stomach hurts. That's funny. It's almost like, where did you find that?
So, Gina, you live in a double wide?
I do. I
Do
live
you,
actually.
do you
It's
live with
about,
your daughter? Do you live with your daughter?
no, I live all by myself with the 3 dogs.
Oh, that's too bad.
Yep. 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 I've got a little Chihuahua. Her name is Mia. She is my emotional support animal.
That's good.
And then I have my boxer Harley, who's very special to me. She was born on the same day, September 7, as my husband that passed away. She was supposed to be his dog, but I basically raised her. So she ended up being my dog.
Mm-hmm.
And so anything with her, I just flip out over. And then I have my daughter's dog, who is a cattle herding dog and sheep herding dog mix. And it's so funny. When she's in the herding mood, she herds the Chihuahua and the boxer into the kennel.
So you're not a cat person, are you?
I love kitties. I used to have a kitty. His name was Peanut, and he weighed like 20 pounds. He was a fat cat. He started off as a little peanut. He didn't end up as a peanut.
Yeah.
But
he
he
did too.
destroyed my carpet with his front claws.
Mm-hmm.
And so I spent $3,800 replacing carpet and flooring.
And
that's for sale.
Haven't you ever heard of a stuffed peanut?
God.
A stuffed peanut?
Well, yeah. I mean, it was 20 pounds.
No.
It was probably, okay, maybe it was the muscles. I tell Meow all the time, he has muscles. From work,
I've said that. Yeah, let me see your muscles.
From working out of at the food dish.
Right. And my daughter's dog is her ESA animal, but she can't have her where she is at right now. So I'm taking care of her. They're all just the sweetest girls. So we are kind of an all-girl community in this house. So
well, then
this fall, the
somebody,
one girl.
Somebody ought to break up that vet, be a guy, and walk into your house. Oh, you used to be all girls.
Yeah, when my dad walks in, they all act big and bad. My 2 dogs know it's Grandpa. They know, and they run in circles,
Mm-hmm.
And Sadie's learning, my daughter's dog, that Grandpa's not going to hurt anybody. So
they all 3 dogs get along.
They get along, which is surprising. Mia, the Chihuahua, she is not too taken well with other dogs.
Those are bigger dogs, right?
Right. Harley is a purebred boxer. She weighs all of about 55 pounds.
That's a big dog.
Sadie weighs probably 30 pounds. She's like a medium sized. And then my Chihuahua, who's overweight like me, and she weighs probably 7 pounds. And but she isn't another dog lover, but all of them love my dad's dog. He has a little miniature schnauzer. And they all love him. And Sadie, my daughter's dog, flirts with him. So that's, I guess, their boyfriend, girlfriend. I don't know.
Waldo, hang in there. Don't worry. We'll talk about TFL again. Don't worry.
Yeah, we'll talk about TFL after I shut my mouth about my dogs. But yeah, my dogs are my world. And my daughter's dog is my world too. They come first. They do. They're good girls.
Waldo Ludowski. I think that's a fake name, but
it could be.
Yeah, it might not be. He said, I'm destroyed. He says, I just hate hearing bullshit. I speak of European life before Christianity, and he uses the N word, is quoting 1900s death statistics ridiculous, really. I don't know.
Who's he freaking talking to?
I have no clue. I'm just looking at the chat here.
Right.
But he said that he's in a wheelchair.
Oh, he's talking to Parker Melville. In 1900, infectious diseases, especially bacterial diseases, were the leading cause of morbidity or mortality. Mm-hmm. Okay. Waldo Ludowski is a fake name. Well, okay, that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
I guess you don't have to put your real name up there. We get it. Dude, I'm owning you badly, and you sound like you're 13 years old. Wigger. I think he meant to put weather. I highly doubt you're all those things you say you are. Well, anyway, let them have their little Whatever.
Hey, Bill, I need some entertainment, so I'm going to watch the Seattle riots. So I'm going to get out of here, okay?
Okay, that's all right. I'm going to end this show here shortly. We're almost
Yeah, I
1
gotta see
o'clock.
that. I
So.
gotta see some entertainment. It's so, oh, these guys are so insane.
Oh, yeah. Well, unfortunately, I think these protests they're going on quite lengthy. I thought they were starting to end, but they're not.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking they're going to carry these things on right through the damn summer on us.
Wait till these protesters have no food in their belly. They won't have the energy to go out and riot.
There you go. Then they can protest I'm hungry.
Bill, this is the way it works. The powers that be will destroy the very people that created them first. That's how they operate. That's what Stalin did once they overthrew the Tsar, the king and queen of Russia back in 1917. The very first order of business of Stalin was to kill as many of the leaders that were involved as possible. That's how they do it.
Yeah.
So these idiots out there that think we be making history. Yeah, we'll see how much history you're making when you're the first to get rounded up,
Well, that's what I said to first tonight. I says to him, you can sit up there at your damn spot up there in Silicon Valley in the Google building.
Yeah.
You can do all of your work for your fancy money, destroying our world by going along with NWO. But when they're all said and done, just remember, you're most likely going to be a patsy with a gun to the back of your head. Now they're done using you. You're joining the rest. Bye.
Yep, that's true.
Right.
Because this is what they've done throughout history. So I made sure to remind first of that when he came into the chat.
Yeah.
I had people say, banned him. And I says, what for? He'll just come back in and unban himself.
Right. But it's funny, once you called him out, though, he just shushed. He shushed. He went away.
Yeah, he left. He was gone.
That's how big and bad he is. Just saying.
Well, he knows he got popped, and there's nothing he can do about it.
I love your wording. You're a riot. I love it. Oh, Bill, I just love you.
It's what it is.
Right? Right on. Oh.
Hey, but
yes,
hey.
I'm okay.
I appreciate you being here. You managed to stay awake.
I did, and I didn't even drink any coffee.
Yeah, stay on here a couple minutes, will you? I'm gonna end the show, guys. Okay, so I'll be back next week. And to the people in the chat, I guess.